What a day, guys. Crossfire. It's going to be a great show tonight. What an exciting day. Excited to have everybody here. You guys can see we have a great panel here already. We've got another 2 or 3 joining us. Nib will be here in a moment. Jez will be here in a moment. Hopefully, BRAP can join the second half of the show, as well as the great Detective Seeds, who's always on the road. Seeds is always on the road, reporting from the road. I love it. What a day today, huh? We had the PS5 Pro on the PlayStation Direct, and I got to tell you, you guys know I've been saying this for a long time on the show now. I've been saying about Moochonomics, right? Upwards of $350, $360 with a Pro membership that you can get a trade-in for your PS5, okay? Outstanding amount of trade-in for that. It's killing Mooch. I'm sitting here all day. Everybody I know in the community showing pictures, locked in my PS5 Pro, PS5 Pro secured, and here I am waiting for retailers in New York. This is me, waiting for retailers in New York. Driving me crazy. I like to be able to say, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can put that to rest. Now, everyone's saying this. They're like, Mooch, you a little nervous about this? You a little nervous about this? Now you've got to actually go out there and hope that when you go to pre-order, they don't say, oh, we've only got like 15 or maybe 10 or 8 in your respected store. So I'm like, now I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have pre-ordered, and I didn't. But I think we're going to be all right. Does anybody even know? I wonder if you can even go on PlayStation Direct tomorrow and if there'll be some more available. I'm curious. We'll find out. Shout out to Kratos as we let everybody kind of hindsight with Hustle. Shout out to Hustle. Hustle, we got to have you back on the show, buddy. Shout out to Mary Wilcox. Richard Wood, outstanding to see him. RPG, he's got his locked in. Neil Augusto. Guys, just so you know, this is how much I used to say this all the time. You know from MNC. The show must go on. The Giants are playing tonight. You guys know how much I'm a diehard Giants fan. And the show must go on. Okay? Crossfire takes no second backseat to any Giants game. I also think it'll be good luck if I don't watch. Nonetheless, superstitions aside, we've got a great show for you guys. If you'll look at that outstanding description right there, gives you a little idea of what's going on the show tonight. There's that join button. You'll see a lot of names in the chat that are in the green text, okay? Those are guys that belong to the channel. They belong to the channel. They are members. Shout out to the great Mash, by the way. Hopefully Mash joins us. Mash, outstanding contributor to the channel. Donates 20, 30, sometimes 40 subs. Unbelievable. But please do hit that like button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. If you hit the subscribe button, your name comes up in lights. Wanted to try something for fun, just for fun. We have so many thousands of people listening to the show, and I want to say thanks to everybody, by the way. Whether you're listening live now or you're listening later on tonight, tomorrow, some people are Saturday, Sunday, Monday listening to the show, hit the like button. I'm really curious. I'd like to see how many likes we can get on the show. I'm just curious, honestly. I won't ask every week. If you want to do it every week, I really appreciate it. But I'd love to see if we can absolutely dominate that like button. Let's just absolutely smash that like button and see what happens. Just curious. I've never really asked the audience to do this. Every channel, I watch YouTube. You guys all watch YouTube. It doesn't matter if you're watching a review on a game, a new this or a new that comes out, movie reviews. Every single person is like, hey, do me a favor. Hit that like button. And they say it like 8 times. Sometimes 8 times during a 10-minute show. So yeah, please, guys, hit that like button. Let's see what happens. Why not? Yeah. J-Boy says, he says, hit the effing like button. Why not? It's effortless. I think you even lose a calorie or 2. It's not bad. It's a win-win for everybody. But guys, you're all heard a little bit about the PS5 Pro. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got the new Ghost that's coming out. That's outstanding. The State of Play, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the Tokyo Game Show that occurred. It's actually happening. It's happening. But we have an outstanding panel here. Let me start with the one and only. You guys have begun to love to hate him. The great Death Singer is back. And Singer he throws jabs, but he throws them so politely. I've been podcasting a long time. I've never had someone throw jabs so politely. The great Death Singer is here. Singer hits me with I don't know if we're going to see GTA 6 at 60 frames, Mooch, on that PS5 Pro. I said, Singer, let's save it for the show. But Singer, How you doing tonight, buddy? Great to have you back on the show.
Oh, it's always great. I could be unpolite with it. I mean...
Well, we like the polite version of you. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I have the polite version because I'm on a podcast. Catch me in the Discord afterwards when I'm not live.
I got to join that Discord you're a part of, Singer. It sounds amazing.
But yeah, it's, just chilling. Great to be here. Got good panels, good topics. We got the disappointments that happened today.
Well, there's always a few.
I'll leave it to your imagination what I found disappointed yesterday and today.
I'm pretty sure I have an idea. But great to have
pretty sure you do.
The great Death Singer, everybody. Great to have him here. Lord Metroid says, I got my PS5 Pro pre-ordered plus Echoes of Wisdom. Lord Metroid trying to make Mooch feel a little worse, and he's got to wait till October 10th. All right, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And the great Donnell Brown, you cannot go a podcast and speak New York sports without Donnell coming in here. He says, ain't no one trying to watch the Giants. Well, somebody's watching them. Prime paid for it, Donnell. But nonetheless, I will say this much. It is an honor to have the great, by the way, guys, okay, Ranting Greek Gamer here. I actually love having RGG on the show. And RGG, a lot of people don't realize this. There's a lot that goes on. I feel like I have this is the European edition tonight of Crossfire, right?
Almost.
Which is fine. I love it. I absolutely love it. But RGG, you have such a great following. Your fans, they follow you show to show. They watch your channel like crazy. I had so many people. You don't know this, RGG, but when I was setting up and everything like that and getting some of the topics done, I was just in the chat talking to people before the show, before you guys even came into Discord. And a lot of people, they're like, yo, Mooch, what's up from Athens? Mooch, what's going on from Athens? And
really?
Yes. And I mean, this is all due to the great RGG. But RGG, nonetheless, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing tonight?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be on the show once again. And I think that we are going to have a very good time.
I think we're going to have a great time. Well, speaking of that, listen, in case you guys didn't do your homework, you know who did? Nib. Nib does more homework for this gaming community, okay, than any gaming media outlet. Nib, outstanding to have you back on the show as always, buddy. Listen, I got to tell you something. If I went into a coma for a week, I could still do Crossfire if I follow you on Twitter. That's how good you are.
Outstanding. You, appreciate that.
But Nib, how you doing today? You doing good?
Yeah, not too bad. I gave some impressions of the Metaphor ReFantasio game demo.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted them on Twitter, and I think I am very differing in my opinion to a lot of people because I came off much more scathing. And I just read you this tweet that I just got. Yeah, I just got this tweet from this dude.
How'd it go? Was everything all right? I don't know what that tweet was that he got. Hopefully Nib's still here. Nib, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, you don't hear me?
No, but now you're back.
Oh, he basically said, I need to suck myself off and get the hell out of here. I have no taste in video games.
Wow. Geez. Well, I mean, I guess he could have been. It could have been worse.
That is a very stable person, I must admit. He clearly has his emotional boundaries in check. Clearly. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's just so much news these days, right?
There's a lot to talk about.
Amounts of news.
Well, I knew you were busy today, Nib, because I always write in the DM when I send all the topics. I say if anybody has any topics. Nib usually hits me with about 4 or 5 other topics, and I said he's got to be busy today because he didn't hit me. Either I nailed all the topics of the week, which I doubt. But if you have any during the show, Nib, let me know. The great Jez7780 just wrote me. He says he'll be here in a minute or two. So shout out to the great Jez. We'll definitely give him an intro as he joins the show. But, I guess we'll start with the show with, Nib, were you able to order the PS5 Pro today?
So I wasn't able to get the 30th anniversary Pro, but I got one of everything else. So I got the anniversary Slim, the anniversary Edge, the anniversary DualSense, the anniversary Portal, and the standard PS5 Pro.
All right, what you guys don't realize is I have the entire family packing. We're moving to England. I don't know what's wrong. I want to move closer to Nib. I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here in New York. Nib, let me ask you this as we welcome the great Jez7780. Jez, welcome to the show, buddy. Always great to have you.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Jez? I was just asking Nib. Now, so Nib did not get the 30th edition, okay? He didn't get the But Nib, I got to ask you. Here's the reason I didn't. I was in there. I got in. I was not able to get the 30th anniversary as well. But then I sat there and I came real close to pushing the button and nailing the deal on getting a controller, and I was going to get another Portal on the 30th edition. And I said to myself, wait a minute. Everyone that I know that's getting the 30th edition stuff for the most part are keeping these things sealed up because of the value of them. Nib, are you going to use these items, or are you going to keep them boxed up and be, when you finally do your YouTube channel, which is inevitable, you're going to point to the box?
I'm going to use all of it.
You sure?
Yeah, positive. I'm going to use all of it. And please don't hate me, chat. I'm just being honest at the end of the day. I probably will sell the PS5 Slim. Because it's like I bought it thinking, maybe do I want one like as collector? But then I was like, if I have the Pro, realistically, I'm never going to use that Slim. And truthfully, that Slim will pay for the Pro and then some. So I was like, oh, you might as well, and I don't necessarily have to charge like a high markup. I'm not going to go with what crazy people are doing. But as long as it pays for the Pro, I don't really care.
Okay.
But yeah, but yeah, it's just like they're going for outrageous money, and it's weird because even like when I first was going into buying it, I was like, I'm going to use the 30th anniversary Pro, but now I've seen some of the thumbs that they're going for on eBay, and I'm just like, I don't know if in good conscience I could do that, because as much as I love the look and the design, I don't love it enough for like £2,000, £3,000. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's unreal amounts of.
One thing I want to say about that too is that those prices, those are usually just buy it now. People just put those up there. That doesn't mean that they're moving at that price.
That's
like
right.
You can just post
moving.
anything on eBay and just like say $1,500, buy it now. And
exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it's selling for that. People may sell it, but it's not a bidding. Like people are bidding on it. So usually those prices are just kind of out there to see who's going to bite on it.
So I've been following what they're actually selling for. And I'm seeing everything between £1,700 and offers for about £2,500. So it's still a lot. It's still a lot. Like you see, what's happening is people will list it for 4,000.
4,000? Holy crap!
Yeah,
I saw that too.
For 5,000.
Yeah, I did see
The
that.
thing is, they're listing it for like 5,000.
Yeah,
But people are buying them, and the thing is, because it's such a collector's item, the seller doesn't need to budge, because if the collector is really desperate on his hands and knees, like, I need this he'll pay you the money.
That's right.
He'll pay you the 2,000.
Yeah.
Wait. You mean that someone is actually going to pay $4,000?
£4,000.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yes, I think based on the ranking, because basically when someone on eBay accepts an offer, it doesn't tell you what the offer is, but you can tell how much based on where it ranks on the list of things from highest to lowest price. So indirectly, you can kind of, and I think.
Nib, you keep cutting out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why.
Oh, did I cut out? Oh, crap. I might jump in and back in, but I was just going to say, the thing is, you have to realize there's 12,000 of these, right? Are you telling me there's not 12,000 multi-millionaire PlayStation gamers out there, right?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, sure.
There's more than,
and then number two, and then numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big thing. Like, and that 12,000 global is insane.
Okay,
that is
but let me ask you. So, Jez, let me ask you a question, Jez. Let's say you got one of these. You got the bundle. Do you play it? You keep it, or are you selling it?
The bundle, so the bundle was going for $1,000 US, right?
Yeah,
that was
so
the bundle.
If you
with
got the bundle, are you?
If they're going for $5,000, that I would sell it if it's going for that amount of money. But if for like a couple thousand, 1,000 more or something like that, like it really depends. Like if you're a collector and you want these as a collector's item, and you had the original PlayStation, and that's something that you want to have, then like a lot of people just want to put it in their collection. But there's some people that just want to flip them. But me, if it's gonna go for that amount of money, like that's just absolutely insane. Like I would probably flip it, to be honest. Like like for $5,000, if I pay 1,000, like that's pretty
Jez,
crazy.
Jez, am I the only one? I I know Singer's situation in this. I'll ask RGG in a second because I don't know what he's got over there. I don't know if they have game over in Greece, but Jez, I'm waiting for the 10th of October, dude. I'm trading in my PS. I'm trading in my one PS5 and my Xbox Series X, and I'm getting 2 Pros. Like that's my plan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys know on the air if it goes according to plan. But Jez, that's what I'm doing. Because if I ordered a PS5, I saw a lot of people ordering the PS5 Pro, not the Slim and not the bundle, right? Not
the regular.
The regular. But Jez, do you have one PS5 in the house or 2?
So yeah, so my situation, what I did was I traded in my I have 2 PlayStations 5, so I traded in one with that deal that was going on GameStop, got like 400 or 385 or 395. So I'm without one down in my my gaming area.
Yeah,
my son has one that we've been gaming on that one, and then so I have the credit there. But I want to use it to go get it. So what I did was I wanted to see how it was to try to get this. Like I really, at first I just went in and just waited on that queue to see what was going on, to see if I get the anniversary one, right?
Right.
And then I knew once that queue was kind of like the time went like from 10 o'clock to 10:15, I was like, those things are gone. Those things are probably gone like a minute before 10 o'clock.
Yep.
So when I got in there, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me get a Pro, because I don't know the situation on the 10th. When Best Buy and GameStop, and I really don't trust GameStop, because they will probably take your pre-order money and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, we only got 10 of them in, so you're going to be like the third wave or second wave of them. Like, I'm not a huge fan of GameStop pre-orders. I would trust more Best Buy. Plus you could do the no interest financing at Best Buy with the credit card. So I'm like kind of torn with the retailers, like which one I would do it with there. But just to kind of, I was clicking on that cart button and it didn't work, and I was done. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. I was hitting the button for like 15 minutes. It wasn't working. People were like, use incognito mode, use this mode. I'm like, you know what? They could kiss my ass. I'm done with them, with their jank ass stupid PlayStation Direct store. Mm-hmm. And I was just clicking on it, wasn't working. So then, I went out. Then I just clicked on it. I went back and I downloaded Firefox, and then a different browser, and then I clicked on it, and I was in a queue for about 5 minutes. And this was like an hour and a half later, after the whole wave. And then I got in, I waited 5 minutes now, no more 45-minute queue, because they put me back after clicking on the thing. They put me in another 50-minute queue. Yeah. And I'm just sitting on the thing working. I'm like, you know what? I could care less now. I'm done. I'll just wait to the 10th, just see what goes on with the trade-ins. And then I went into Mozilla, and then I clicked on it, I got in, and I was like 5 minutes, and then I was able to click it and just added it like a normal purchase. It was there like 2 hours later, and just went in and did it. It was almost like a Black Friday thing, where you see the crazy people waiting outside in the rain in the tents, and then the dude that used to walk in at 11 o'clock on Black Friday going, I'll grab some DVDs or something like that. That's what it was like. You just walk in like 2 hours later. There's no line. You just walk in and you just pick out the things that you want.
So Jez,
and that's what it was. Jez, so I just got one. I'll probably return it. I'll probably just return it when I could get it on the 10th from where I want to buy it from. But this is just to make sure that I have a PlayStation, because right now I have nothing. I don't have one here.
Okay, that's fair.
I will say, Jez, what you were saying. So I think my timer was like 28 minutes, but then I counted, it was only actually 15 minutes or something. But I knew as soon as it gave me the timer, I wasn't going to get the 30th anniversary Pro, just because, I estimate there's probably like a few hundred that's going to come to the UK. If it's 12,000 around the world, max we get a few hundred. So I was like, you probably have to be within the first 1 to 3 minutes to get one, and even then you have to be really quick in your purchase, because I actually logged back on to try and get another piece, and it literally, as I was checking out, it said these items are no longer in stock. So even if you get into the store, it's not actually a guarantee that you'll get anything, because it's just how quickly you can check out. Basically.
But nothing would go into the cart. So I thought it was the Pro. I even clicked on like a controller or anything like that, and nothing was going into the cart. Like, it was not working at all. Yeah. And then eventually it just like kicked you out of the website and put you back in the queue. And then actually shout out to what's his name? Oh, is it Wario? I forgot. Wario. Well, who's the guy on Twitter that like does all the sales?
That's him.
The
dude, he said that Walmart was pre-ordering the controller, so I actually got the controller through Walmart, the classic controller, because I was like, let me get that thing. Let me see if probably it was.
Well, listen, the reason I didn't do it was Christmas, I just got the Astrobot. controller.
Me too. That's the thing. I didn't want it.
So
see. This is the thing is I'm just kind of laying the groundwork, and then once the kind of things fall where they are, I'll just cancel stuff. I'll return it if I don't want it, or give it as a gift. Like I was thinking about giving my son for Christmas, like another, the classic controller, something like that. So it's sort of like, I'll kind of figure it out, but I just want to get it and then I'll sort it out because it's the house's money. It's all credit. You cancel it. I'll be like, tomorrow I don't want it anymore, or return it and send it back. Like, I just want to kind of like, lay my chips around, see where it sorts itself out. And that's the same thing. Why I got one today was just to kind of figure it out to see, like, if it doesn't go through, later on, then I'll just kind of keep the one here with the Pro. It's not my preferred place to get it from PlayStation Direct, but you're going to get it day one, where the other retailers may screw you around and you're getting it later and things like that.
So a lot of people are asking, Nib, just real quick, a lot of people are asking, is GameStop going to be getting the 30th edition? As far as I know, and I wish we had the great Gaming Forte here, his ears to the ground, but as far as I know, GameStop is not getting the 30th anniversary collection of any of those, as far as I know. Am I wrong on that, guys?
On the blog, it says, I think it says
PlayStation
United States,
Direct,
United States, Canada, UK, France, and I think it was Germany. It'll only be available in the PlayStation Store, the Pro version. Whereas other things may be available in other retailers, but those are going to be exclusive to the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
and I tell you, $1,000 was like for the all that stuff and the Edge controller too. Like that was crazy, and the accessory to charge it on, which is another $30 in there too.
Yeah, so
like getting all that. That wasn't that bad. People are saying it was going to be like $1,500 or stuff like that, like some crazy amount. So, you're getting a limited edition Pro and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I did the calculation in the UK, and the stuff added together was actually more than they were charging.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I was like, oh shit, they're actually not making any markup on the anniversary side of things. It's literally just as if you bought all the parts separate, which is, not bad because let's be honest, people would have paid way more, right?
Oh, I'm sure they would. Just for the number of the it being numbered, because do you remember how crazy it was with the 500 million PlayStation, like the blue one? Like I just have my DualSense, the blue control, because that's all I was able to salvage out of that thing. But like, I know those things were going crazy, and those were also numbered, and they were gold etched, like they had the gold number on them, like for how many they made those, and it was such a cool translucent, like the plastic on it.
Like, this is the thing.
But that's the thing. Like collectors will always pay more. That's why I see him putting it for 5,000. Because I remember the Legend of Zelda original unopened. It went for nearly $1 million. Super Mario 64 unopened, perfect condition, original, back from when it first released. 1.5 million. Like collectors will pay money.
Oh yeah.
If there's some, so that's why the scalpers. That's why I said as soon as they announced it, I'm like the scalpers are on that day one because they know for a fact people will pay extortionate amount of money.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, because like some people are like, oh, why didn't Sony charge more money? Like, I honestly, because for them it's like, oh, we understand the culture, we're doing it for the people, for the culture. But the thing is, indirectly, it's incredible marketing, right? Because even I saw so many people who bought the Pro and they weren't interested in the Pro; they were interested in the Anniversary Pro. So you create all this buzz, all this like. Everyone wants this. They know it's going to be numbered one. It's like almost like a lottery, right? Like you want that like golden ticket. So everyone goes onto the site in the hopes not of getting the Pro. Like there's a lot of mass consumers and people who may not be interested, who just want to get that rare edition so they can resell it or whatever else, and they get caught into the hype and then they end up buying the Pro. I saw so many messages like, I only wanted the 30th anniversary, but I ended up buying the Pro.
Yeah.
So do you think that was a strategy that they did? Because I was like cursing at my screen going, why would they put both of them on the same day and create this massive, like, why would you put all the 30th anniversary stuff in the same day that you would open up Pro ones? And maybe you're right. Maybe that's a strategy, because it's like, why wouldn't you just do the 30th anniversary like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Pre-order those items, and then the Pro pre-orders open up today, because you just create this huge influx of everybody. A lot of people going for the 30th anniversary, creating a lot of noise when people just want to go in and get a Pro and get out.
So,
and
Jez, I was asking this question. Don't you guys think that the Pro will be available on PS Direct tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it will.
I think so.
The thing is, I think a lot of people were gunning for the 30, but the people who checked it with the Pro would be the people who would have bought one anyway. So, like the enthusiasts, the brand loyalists, the Sony diehards. You know, they will always play on PlayStation. Like, they're going to want the best experience.
Yeah.
But the general person who's playing Call of Duty Madden, like the mass market, probably wouldn't be rushing in on PS Direct the first minute trying to get one. They'll be trying to get the thing, but they'll be like, okay, well, sure, if I check it with a Pro, I do, but I just think it's mainly the enthusiasts, us on Twitter, or in the gaming community, like the diehards. We're the ones rushing.
So, it's that psychological thing, though, right? Where sometimes like you don't get the ultra rare thing, but then you realize even the secondary thing is actually selling out.
It's like Doorbusters on Black Friday. What they used to do. We only have 5 of those TVs for like $600, priced half price, and then you get in there and you're like, well, while I'm here, I'm just gonna buy other things because I didn't get the 5 TVs they had.
Yeah, because even the Pro, people were still struggling with the queues and everything to get the Pro. So it's kind of like that's like it's like, okay, I'm already in the store and I can actually buy the Pro. Other people are still waiting. Do you know what? I'm just gonna go for it.
The thing, it was always
button worked. Like,
the thing is, the Pro was always going to sell out. It's what happened 6 months from when it released.
Also, you don't know how many they're gonna make either. Like, you know,
I would imagine the Pro would be like, if I had to, they probably manufacture 70% Slim, 30% Pro, or whatever. They'll split the manufacturing.
We don't know how many they made of them.
So a lot of people right now, Singer, and I apologize to cut you off. I just want to let you guys know I've got Domino Zero. I've got a bunch of people. Shout out to the great WoolleyGamer who says, Mooch, shout out to Jez and Nib, my boys.
Yo, Wooly.
Great to have the great WoolleyGamer here with us. But I've got a bunch of people here. I've got Scott, Dove, Lord Metroid, Brian East, all telling me, Mooch, right now they are all checking on the PlayStation Direct. Right now, you can order the Pro right now. Right now, it's available. Yeah. Which gives me that warm and fuzzy. I get the warm and fuzzy again because Jez was right. He just wanted to have one on lockdown. Doesn't mean he's going to keep the one from Direct. But you know, I'm right there with you on that just because I know what's going to happen. You know, you go to see GameStop, right, on the day on October 10th. And if you're not there, let's say your GameStop opens at like 10 a.m. You get there at, let's say, man, I don't know. I guess if you want to secure one, I would say you get there at 8. Right? I don't know if you're really
but Mooch, you know how GameStop, like, I don't know how they operate, but they'll just take your pre-orders and then they'll see how many they may get from Sony, and then they'll be like, well, we had more pre-orders than what we got, and then they'll start making waves, and that's the thing. Like, I don't trust them. They'll take your pre-order money, they'll take your $100, and then they'll be like, well, do you want to repurpose that to a pre-order? It's like, no, I want the thing that I pre-ordered.
That's right. Well, listen, so that's why, don't get me wrong, everything Jez said I completely agree with, but Jez, the only thing I'm saying is, myself, if on the 10th of October, I'm getting there probably 9 a.m., I'll get there an hour before they open, and if I know I'm within the first 10, then I mean, you've got a really good shot. You can ask them
how many, because I just know that they do that sometimes. Maybe they got better since the first PlayStation round. But you know what? The thing is that the Pro's still available now. I'm thinking a lot of that traffic was definitely for the 30th anniversary stuff.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that the Pro now is just kind of, you could go in now and probably go get the Pro. Like I did, like 2 hours later. I was like, oh, look, 5 minutes, just walked in. I was like, oh, there it is.
Let's be honest. One of the things that I saw a lot of people saying that made a lot of sense. This is a $700 item, right?
It is. People, it's not exactly.
It's not yeah.
So that's where I came around. It's like, everyone's like, oh, look at it, it's selling out, see? And then there's quoting who's going to buy this? And it's like, you know the diehard enthusiasts and the brand lawyers are going to buy it day one.
Yeah, but you know why
Well, when it releases 6 months later, it's not going to sell like it did day one because it is not for the mass market. It's for the diehards and the enthusiasts.
So, you know why I think there is this kind of... let's just say resentment of some of the narratives is because this basically has happened multiple times with the DualSense Edge, or it's too expensive, it's not going to sell well, it's only going to be the extreme enthusiast. It ends up being the best-selling accessory of 2024 according to Sakana, right? And then dollar sales though. But then same thing with the Portal. It's going to be super niche. It's the best-selling accessory of March and the best-selling up to June 2024 for the whole year. So, and then VR2, there was a report from Bloomberg. VR2, PlayStation is reducing numbers. It's looking like it's only going to sell 270,000. It ends up selling 600,000, which is more than the VR1 sold. So I think like time and time again, whenever PlayStation releases a premium product, this kind of initial narrative is always that it's dead on arrival. It's going to be super niche. People aren't going to be interested in it. It's too expensive. But the data always shows otherwise. And I think people are they feel this is another situation like that where people are like,
see, I don't. It's like, because I love this narrative, because then they released the PS4 Pro. They sold 140 million PS4s. Only 15 million of them were Pros. Do the math. Like, see, the PS5 Pro will follow suit. The enthusiasts will buy it, but the mass market didn't buy it. Only the people who were interested and enthusiasts who wanted the Pro. So I think the PS5 Pro will follow the same suit. It'll do 15 million of the total PS5 sales, but the PS5 Slim will do like 60, 70, 80 million or whatever it's going to.
I think a lot of people thought it was going to do far worse than the Pro. To be honest, I actually think it could do worse than the Pro. Not far worse, but worse because the Pro came out, PS4 Pro came out 3 years into the PS4's life cycle at the same price as the PS4, and the PS5 Pro is coming out 4 years into the PS5's life cycle at a notably higher price. So I don't know if it will necessarily have the same sales as the PS4 Pro, but I don't think PlayStation needs it to either. I think, like you said, it's not for that. Yeah, even if it just, if it has that 10%, they're still making a margin on this. Like, that's why it's priced the way it is. So, even if they make $50 or $100 on each unit, it's still a big profit if they sell 10 plus million. But yeah, I think I was reading a lot of people saying basically it's going to be dead because it's too expensive. But I just don't think that is the current climate right now.
Nib, I am sorry to say this, but the big difference though this time when compared back then with the PlayStation 4 Pro, it is that here in my country and in your country, I think, because I think that you live in the UK also. You live in the UK. The thing is, the PS5 Pro in my country, it cost $799. The basic salary here in Greece every month, it is less than $799, and this is not only for my a country. This is also for Romania, Bulgaria. So I mean we are like $100 or more than you guys in the US over there. So the price is not at the same point as it was back then with the PlayStation.
It's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close.
And also, there has been a huge a backlash here in Greece ever since the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro came out. There has been a huge backlash here in Greece because even though people see that it is a very good system and that it is going to do what it is supposed to do, the problem is that there are so many people who are saying that they simply cannot get this a console because it is too expensive here when compared to the US. So I don't think that things are the same this time around because when the price of the console in another continent, it is like $100 or more I don't see how things are going to be the same, or if the PS5 Pro will have the same success as the PS4 Pro.
Yeah. So just two questions though. What is the tax rate in Bulgaria? Like, do you have a VAT?
That, but here in Greece it is like 25%.
Exactly, 25%. Yeah, that's massive. So it's already 25% more than the American price just on tax alone.
Yeah.
So you got to factor that in as well, because my next question was going to be like, how much is a 4070 in Greece? How much is a 4090? Because we can compare those prices as well to the United States prices, and we can see how much of a role taxes and etc. and currency in what's the word, variance plays a role. Because the thing with Europe and stuff, we've had the European Union, the euro has been fluctuating quite heavily, as has all currencies around the world. So now a lot of businesses are pricing products with currency fluctuation in mind. Obviously, the yen is extremely weak right now, and Sony is a Japanese company. So, there's a lot of things that are coming into play now, because even with other products now, we're noticing, even me, when I import stuff for the restaurant and stuff, like they are like, some of our vegetables come from Spain. And even they're pricing a certain way just to make up for the deficiencies in the currency as well. So it's weird. It's a weird sort of time right now.
Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Grimm here. He just reinforces his pre-orders for PS5 Pro in the U.S. worked for me just now. If any of you all are wondering, Mr. Grimm, thanks for the reporting. I appreciate that. But, there was something that Nib said, and Jez, I'll ask you, because Nib kind of put it out there. That's why I changed it over to it's not topic, too. It kind of falls in line with what we're talking about. But the games media and influencers advise consumers not to purchase a PS5 Pro, then proceed to purchase one themselves. So, I mean, listen, my thing is this, right? It happens far too often. And that's fine. We can go down that rabbit hole. But the one thing that I look to, guys, if you guys go all the way back, and I know a lot of you guys in my audience are, been gaming for decades. If you go back to the Nintendo Power days, right? I don't care what it is. When I used to read games journalism, it was about the games. And then it would be if the games were good, right? Or if the system was going to be any good. Tells you about the power. And then you as the consumer take that information and then you deliberate whether you think it's worth your hard-earned money. Right? That's what I always say. I don't tell people on this show. I've never said to anyone in the chat, you need to go buy a Pro. You need to go do... No, you do what you have to do for yourself, for your family, first and foremost. Second of all, if this is the hobby you love, like I know that it is mine, I know it's everyone on the panels, and I believe it's everyone in the chats are listening later. That's why you're listening to Gaming Podcast. You already know that this is it's an expensive hobby. Even at its cheapest moments, it's expensive. So the one thing I ask you, Jez, is... I want the games media to tell me the strengths and weaknesses of the box. I want to know what it's going to do. Let them go and try it. A lot of them got to go try it out, right? And then they did early impressions. This is what we did. We played this game. It was really impressive. Or this wasn't so good, right? Why is the games media and influencers, why are they wallet watching? Why are they worried about what people... You shouldn't buy this. Don't do that. Don't buy this. Like,
they're the TMZ, man.
That's I don't understand.
Like the TMZ.
What's
like
going on?
When they sit around and they start yelling out, like, yo, I saw, I was saying this to Thrifty. I was like, you see, Emilio Estevez, he's taking a dump in the corner of the airport. Holy crap. That sounds like a good article, right? Post it. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's what they've turned into. Like, you would think that they have this hands-on, this opportunity to get a hands-on before everybody else, say what the differences are, and just say what it is, and then let people decide on what they want to do instead of giving, hey, even though they probably might even get it for free. That's the worst thing. It's like when they're like, oh, don't buy this. No, go buy this. And all of a sudden they're like, hey, thanks PlayStation. Thanks Xbox for sending this to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, dude, you've been telling everybody about money watching. Meanwhile, you get the thing.
Yeah, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Go ahead, please. Yes, please.
I actually don't mind that they've done that with the PlayStation 5 Pro. So, and I know this is going to make me sound hypocritical, right? And maybe I am being contradictory on this, but it's one of those things where I want the Pro and I was always going to buy it day one.
That's right. Yes.
I have the spare expenditure. I want better quality games
because
it's my primary hobby. So who gives a shit about an extra $300 if I can get better versions on console of everything I play, right? It's a no-brainer to me. But I also understand that if this, if this becomes the new trend and it's extremely popular, it does signal to PlayStation and to every other platform that, do you know what, the barometer for what consumers are willing to pay has changed now, right? You guys can get away with charging a bit more and a bit more and a bit more, right? It is, it's consumers. The market is telling to these platforms what we are willing to pay, right? So in a way, because of the negativity, I was like, do you know what? I'll actually take it, because let the optics be a little bit negative, because then there is some kickback to this. Like, if everything had just been super positive, then they're just like riding into the sun waves. Like, yes, we can just charge whatever the hell we want. No one's saying anything. Everyone's super hyped.
I like
but,
the only way that's going to happen is if people stop buying the stuff and they just get too egregious with the price, and then it hurts their wallets. That's the only thing. Like, they're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep pushing for this. I remember when there was only one iPad and it was only $500, and that was a big deal. And now iPads are $1,000 if you want a Pro. $1,200.
I agree.
So like everything, like electronics, and also I always said, like, this generation has been the strangest one where we haven't seen, like what that thing was talking about with the PS4, and the Xbox. Like, there was always like this kind of like a new one comes in, and that's the opportunity to lower the prices of the previous models. Nobody's dropping prices of these previous models. You may get them on sale, but they've been putting more memory in them, and they're making us pay for that more memory. Like, they put more memory in the S. It's more money. Like, we got better at the launch than we paid. Than what we're getting now. We got a PlayStation stand. Holy crap! We got stands included with our launch PlayStation. A disk drive was there. Like, you know what I mean? Now it's like, hey, go buy the stand now, and you get a little kind of a thumbtack or something that they could stand up on the side.
That's not entirely their fault, and I'm doing the opposite side, and I'm gonna be the corporate bootlicker. but I'm just telling you the facts, right? So from their last, I think it's their May financial report. On it, they actually say that quarter they made more profit because they sold fewer PS5s, right? And they said they expect in 2024 to again make more profit because they're going to sell fewer PS5s than the previous year, right? So indirectly, what that is telling us, well, not even indirectly, directly is telling us that the PS5 is actually still sold at a loss, even though a few years back it had turned a profit. Whatever has happened, whether it's manufacturing or the processes or energy costs and staff costs and all the rest and inflation, things have changed again, and for whatever reason the PS5 they're selling at a loss again according to their own financials.
But they're probably getting more money from the same people. That's probably what they're doing, because they're selling less, more money, so the things are more, they're saying, hey, more money from the same group of people.
Exactly. So here's the thing, and so the even analysts, I forgot what the name of the analyst firm is now, Ampere, that's the one, Ampere and analysts, they did a BOM sort of the breakdown of material of costs for the PS5 Pro, and they think it's making a small profit, not a huge profit, a small profit, which is fine. Like, at the end of the day, they want less risk, they need to make some margin. Fine, they don't make that much margin anyway. The thing that I do have an issue with people who try and sort of do this penny pinching thing and PlayStation is so bad. I think if you are going to do that, and this is everyone who's listening to chat, right? If you are going to do that, keep it consistent with every brand, because you can't be turning around and buying Nintendo hardware and Nintendo stuff that's marked up to supreme levels, or say Nvidia GPUs. Like the one of the guys who works at a factory in Nvidia, and who constantly posts leaks and stuff like that, he did the BOM breakdown for the 4080, and he said the bill of materials cost for the 4080 was $300, and they charged $999 for that, right? Wow. They originally wanted to charge more, but because of the backlash, they dropped it to $1,000. So they're making like an insane margin on that. Obviously, that doesn't include R&D and stuff, but it, compared to the markup that, say, PlayStation will be making on this, which is probably going to be in the region of $50 to $100.
That's right.
You're talking $700. So keep it consistent. You can't lambast PlayStation for making a micro margin and then go and buy these other products that are making higher margins. You have to keep it consistent. Keep it with every brand.
In answer to Jez's...
I am sorry. This.
No. Go on.
I want to ask Nib something. Yeah, but why is it that in my country and in the rest of the countries here in Europe, why is it that we are getting the PlayStation 5 Pro $100 or more than the US? Why is this happening? This is the one thing which I really do not understand, man. Why is this happening here? I mean, it is not because I don't think that it has to do with the economy that much or with the inflation. I think that they simply want the console to cost more over here. I mean, can you explain to me why this is?
I don't think they.
How much does it cost in your country?
Right.
€7.99 a euro.
Okay, perfect. So let me tell you the maths, right? So it's $699.
Oh, Nib, you cut out again.
Nib, you are cutting out.
Nib, you cut out
again,
buddy.
So it's $699 in the United States, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to roughly €630. Now add 25% tax on top of €630. How much do you get? You get €790. And you just said it costs how much?
$7.99.
There you go. That's the difference. So they're making a difference. It's only a difference of like 10, 15 euros. The rest of it is just your country's tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how come the PlayStation 5 cost? I mean,
how much is the PlayStation?
I don't remember what was the price of the PlayStation 5 when it came out, because I think that in euros and in dollars, I think that it was the same. $499 and 500 euros.
But what was the currency exchange at the time between euro and dollar? I bet it was very different.
It was very similar, I think.
In the value,
I think that euro and dollar. I don't think that they had much of a difference back then. I think I'm not sure.
Well, there had to be. I don't see the.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, RGG. I don't think they're like, hey, do me a favor, make sure you charge Greece an extra 150. You know, I don't think that's how it really works. It's definitely the conversion. If you're comparing it to US, it's the conversion rate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like you get, I'm making this up. We go to Canada. Shout out to all our northern brothers and sisters up there in Canada. You go up there and you trade in your dollar US, you'll get $1.25 Canadian. You know what I mean? Like that's just there's exchange rates that are going on. That plus the fact 25%. So here in New York, it's 8% tax. So me and Nib were talking very quickly, but you do the difference there. That's the difference. So you guys are paying a lot more in tax as well. So there's.
So I've just checked. Now you can go on. Everyone can go on now and check themselves. It's more than a 25% difference in currency between when the PS4 Pro launched and today, between the euro and the dollar. More than 25%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you'd be surprised at the yen is like staggering difference just in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to respond to Jez. I can understand Jez's point. Like, I understand and the disk drive, and they have to mark up stuff. But I have the answer for you, Jez. Check this out. They need to make the money they lost on Concord back.
Oh man! Listen, you guys.
Oh man!
Yeah, I mean, I heard
you guys put a bunch of sexy girls in there. You would have bought that DLC.
Yes, he would have. Yes, he would have.
I have an inside source. A developer at Concord, he told me that it actually
400 million, right?
No, it actually costs $1 billion. He told me
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
Dude. You guys don't realize Singer writes these zingers like starting on Monday.
That's it. Yeah. You gotta have a skit for it. It'd be like a singer zinga, something like that.
Absolutely, I love it. I mean, that's
like charge them all. We got to make our money back.
But it is interesting.
Concord was his baby. It said that was my of that whole story thing. My biggest concern was the fact that supposedly, like, I think the price. Who gives a crap? The fact that Herman was telling people to be quiet and that was his baby. that needed to be fact checked because that is true, man. Herman, he needs to get out of his yacht. Talking man, that guy was like, "Don't say anything about the game. Concord is great."
You know, shout out to the great Ocelot. He says, "Got to buy the Switch 2 before the PS5 Pro," says the Lady Warden. So apparently his missus is spoken in the household. Ocelot, that's not a bad deal. I mean, you're going to get upgrades in both. You might just have to wait a little bit. Shout out to Ocelot. Liquid Tada, he says, "If you don't want it, can't afford it, it's not worth it, then don't get it. I don't see what's so hard. Everyone wants EBT gaming." You know, I mean, I'm kind of with Liquid a little bit here, guys. This is a situation, you've even heard Death Singer say it, okay? We're looking at probably around 15 million people purchasing this by the lifespan of the PS5, very similar to what the PS4 Pro did. This is not necessarily for everybody. It was interesting. I was driving into work today. I was listening to ESPN radio. You guys know me. I'm always listening to my sports radio, which, you know,
Giants are playing.
They're playing, right? 20 minutes from now. Who's counting?
Oh, man.
But I will say this. Listen, Jez, it's probably better luck if we don't watch. Trust me.
I know.
Right? Trust me. You're better off leaving the show at 9:15 and being like, "Oh, my God, we're up by a touchdown." I never would have thought that.
Exactly.
So,
there's only 1 minute left. I'll watch the last minute. Yeah, I don't even want to watch it. It could be a disaster. But the last time they played.
I'm listening to, and this was national ESPN. This was, you know, because everyone has their local affiliates that pick up sometimes early morning after the national ESPN news. And, you know, the one guy, he says, "Oh, after I get done with work, I'm actually going to pick up a PS5. And he didn't know anything about today being PS5 Pro 30th anniversary day or anything like that. And all the guys were like, "You don't have one yet?" And he's like, "No, I didn't pick one up yet. My kid," I don't know if he said his kid's birthday. And he's like, "I'm going to go get this." And he's like, "I'm going to set it up tonight before he wakes up, blah, blah. It's going to be great. We're all excited to have the PS5 in the house." My point is that that's ESPN. These guys cover sports 24/7. They're not watching the Crossfire and any of the shows you guys know. They're just doing their thing and they're enjoying their gaming the way that they enjoy their gaming. So the PS5 is going to be the dominant name here as far as the PS5 collection goes. But Jez, my question for you is: do you think this year? I don't think it's happening at Christmas, but next year at the holiday Christmas time, do you see the PS5 OG, you know, the day one, the 2020 edition? Do you see that one finally making its way to $399 and then the Pro remaining at the $699? Or no, do you think they're just going to hold this price as long as possible? Because I think that's how they kind of are. These parts are getting cheaper and cheaper for them as far as the original PS5 goes. Like that Slim, you know, you guys were saying that they're probably making $20. Nib, I think you were saying, did you say 50? You said $50 to $100 was your guess on possibly the Pro. They have to be making at least that, if not more, now on the PS5 Slim. This has got to drop in price, right? Don't they want to get more of these out to the masses?
No, so according to their financials, they're not. According to their financial statement, they're still making a loss.
On the original PS5.
But see, I would think that this holiday we're probably going to see discounts, like holiday discounts on all the consoles. Not the Pro, but I do think like the PlayStation Slim and Xboxes, I think they're all going to have like $50 off or something like that. Or they've been $50 off, $75, something like that.
They mentioned that in their financial statement too. They say the losses will be from the discounts that they offer.
Yeah, they're going to have discounts. I think for the holiday, because now they got a Pro sitting out there. You know, they could probably be a little bit more aggressive with price and dropping it down $75 or so because they got a Pro out there. So and I'll be sitting there, and they'll probably do that.
Mooch, can you allow me to just correct some misinformation that I said earlier?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I said it was like a 20-something difference in the currency. I got that wrong. It was a 20% something difference compared to the PS4's launch. To the PS4's Pro launch, it's actually a 10% difference. But I'm thinking, okay, so where is the rest of the difference? I think the difference could be because the PS4 Pro was a 16 nanometer process, where the PS4 was a 28 nanometer process. So you're shrinking the die substantially.
Yes.
Whereas the PS5 Pro is going down to 5 nanometer and the PS4 is 7 nanometer. So in terms of the difference of the die shrinkage and the space you're saving in the fab and everything, it's a far less of a cost saving than what we had in previous generations. So that's something you have to factor in as well.
Yeah, all of those play a role. Shout out to Abyss right now in the chat. He says, Mooch, in Australia, the PS5 Pro is $1,199.95. $1,200. It's crazy. So, I mean, but it really does come down to it. I'm not condoning it, guys. I'm not. I would never tell you guys need to go out and buy that. There's no way. You guys know your own financial means. But I will say everything's kind of gotten crazy, hasn't it? I said it last week. I'll say it again. I mean, 2 pizzas. Listen, we watch a lot of football on Sundays. I'm sure a lot of you guys do, even if it's just in passing. Jez, two pizzas, 20 wings. It's more. It's almost $60,
that's
$65.
over $60. Right
Come
there.
on, I mean, and so when somebody says Mooch $700, so first of all, you guys have to understand, my brain only works in Moochonomics. Okay, I'm always trying to get something for nothing. And that is something I think you all should try to do. By the way, mooching ain't easy, but you should try it. The thing about it is, you take $350 you get from GameStop or Best Buy if they're doing whoever's doing any trade-ins in your local area. Game, if that's the case, over in Europe. I mean, I'm thinking of the PS5 Pro. I'm thinking $350 out of pocket. So when I think about this Sunday, I'm going to end up, because I got you got friends coming over. The 2 pizzas and wings is when you have like immediate family. You got wings and family. It's 3 pizzas, 2 24 cuts. All right, you got 20 hot wings. You got 20 mild. You got some mozzarella sticks. This is for a football game. For a football game, I'm in $100.
Yeah.
I'm in $100. And let me tell you, that food's gone in 15 minutes, folks. Okay? 15 minutes. I'm going to get this thing for 3 or 4 years for $350 out of pocket.
I was at the cinema the other day, and some popcorn and a drink cost like £14.
Yes.
I was like, what?
I would say it's $20 here. 20 easily. $20.
I was like, what the hell?
You know,
popcorn and a drink.
But that's because you're doing it wrong. You need to take your own in. Like I do. When I go in, you pay the ticket and just take your own food in, and you sit down.
So I had a friend who used to work high up in Odeon once upon a time, and he told me, and again, I don't know if this is true, I'm only going by what he told me. He said they don't actually make any margin on the print of the reels and stuff themselves. All the profit is in the food. So when he told me that, I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
That's any venue, all the concessions. That's where they make their money. They don't make it on the tickets.
It's the thing is, they'll make that off all the other people, not me. So it's fine. Other people can pick up the tab. You know, other people can pick up the tab.
Now I know why Singer loves Crossfire. He is a mooch that more than you guys have ever. I might have to see his credentials. Singer, please send the resume to me immediately. No, I do. So let's do this, guys. The PS5 Pro conversation will continue as we go through. Shout out to the great Ocelot who comes back in the super chat. Guys, the super chat's working this week, and I can actually read
Let me ask you guys a question, Mooch. Let me ask you a question about the Pro thing.
Please.
Do you think from now until release, are they going to do another kind of like talk more things about the Pro? Like, because I feel that they didn't really.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they did such an excellent job right now. I think they kind of, it seems very rushed, and it seems not very detailed. Like they didn't highlight any differences with the PSVR, which was an extreme discount. They just kind of abandoned that and dropped the price of it.
Yep.
And then the other thing is even what benefits of the Portal. They didn't even talk about like any kind of like what the other things that this console may do to those other accessories. Like, do you think that they're going to do something from now until release to kind of talk more highlights and more features of the Pro, or that's kind of it? Like,
I normally would have said I don't know or no, but let me just say this, and guys, please just take this with a grain of salt, because he even says it himself. Jez, Detective Seeds, right? You've been on the show when he's been on here, and Seeds says it all the time. He goes, he's got a couple people that he knows that works at PlayStation. He says, listen, never gives the sources, never says anything. But he says, listen, take my word for it or don't. He goes, I don't care. He goes, I'm just a guy on Twitter. And he's actually been fairly accurate. He's saying to me, and he said it on Twitter, or X now, if you will. He said that he's hearing that there's going to be a show again in December. He called it something, he didn't say it's going to be PSX, but something of that nature where they show more about the Pro, more of some upcoming games in 2025. Now, that would be a bit unusual, because the only thing they ever did in the late November, December, and that's why I said PSX. You remember that show they used to do? They did it for like 2 or 3 years, maybe a little bit longer, and then they discontinued doing it. So I guess, Jez, do I think they're going to have one? Going by what Seed says, I would say that it's possible. Would I put money on it? I don't think so, because they just did a state of play. But
I just feel like, I just feel that there were
possible.
there was more tech talk, and more like kind of upsell of what the PS4 Pro was doing and things like that.
But think about it, Jez.
How it enhanced the VR, which was coming out.
But Jez, outside of doing a state of play that's dedicated to the new Ghosts, And I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Ghosts of Yotei?
Yotei.
Yotei. Is it Yotei?
Yokai. Not yokai. I keep saying yokai. Okay. No, Yotei.
It's Yotei or Yotei?
Yotei.
Okay. I thought it was Yotei.
I actually think the last show that they did, where they had the TV set up one on top of each other with all the like developers and stuff at the conference or whatever it is, I thought that was actually a really good way to present it. And all the videos I've seen of people covering it, like IGN and stuff, they seemed like very positive. Outside, I think, of one or two written articles that were a bit more negative. So I actually think that was a good way to do it, because the thing is, they don't have the new games right now to show off with. So
right. That's what I was. That's what I was alluding to. Without, except for Ghosts and doing a breakdown of that, which seemingly is going to be, I would think, first half of 25. So they'll probably.
Nah, that's later.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's later 2025.
I'll tell you something. I would think. I'm thinking May.
I was thinking, May, they may want to get that in the first half, because how they added stuff to Ghost of Tsushima. Maybe they want to add more, expansions and maybe multiplayer, if not to it later in the year. So maybe something early in the year.
I know everyone is on Ghost, but Ghost is not going to be even close to the best looking first party game next year. It's going to be Death Stranding 2. Let's be honest.
That seems crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh my god! And then Keely's going to be so far up Kojima's ass. He's going to do that in December, and then he's going to give him Game of the Year and then cry with them next year. It's already done. Next year, it's winning Game of the Year regardless.
Can you imagine the sort if Death Stranding 2 wins Game of the Year?
Oh, it's going to. Keely's going to walk up on stage and present it to him, that's the whole reason why the Game Awards exist, so that Kojima could get awards. So that's why next year he's winning that. Death Stranding 2 is winning Game of the Year.
It's not.
That's what Keely has to do.
It's not winning, because next year Game of the Year is already Game of the Year next year is already done. Because GTA releases. When GTA releases, wrap up the award show. There's no point in
No, that's even more. Keely's going to be crying in the front row. It's happening.
Can you remind me what game won when GTA 5 came out? I'm just curious.
I can't even. When that came out in the 360 era, though.
Yeah, but what game? Can you remember?
I can't remember. That was
and remind me what won the year Red Dead Redemption 2 came out as well.
That one I know. That was God of War.
Yeah, God of War. But then again,
Last of Us. The other one was Last of Us.
Yeah, but then again, let's not pretend like Red Dead Redemption is on the same level as a GTA.
But you really think Keely is going to miss out handing Kojima? He's going to get it. He's going to get awards.
He's going
to personally hand it to him.
No, Keely will get an award.
Okay, so wait, guys. Wait a minute. Wait a second. No. Here's the thing, Singer. I just want to throw another curveball. Shout out to the great Mash. Gifted 20 memberships. Mash, thanks for being here, buddy. He's always listening while he's working. So, Mash, thanks for being here, and I appreciate that. Real quick, though, we know Death Stranding. Well, I don't want to say no. It was advertised 2025. And even I have one of the Death Stranding 2 clips on the visuals you'll see tonight here live. But, here's the thing. So, 2025, we're looking at Ghosts. We're looking at our Ghost of I'm going to say, is it Yotei? You were saying, or
Yotei.
Pardon me. It's going to take me a while to get used to that, but I will say it correctly eventually. And then we've got Death Stranding 2. But wasn't there strong rumors that Wolverine was 25? Is Wolverine getting bumped?
It's between 25 and 26, so they don't. I think
Venom. Where is Venom?
That's
what I heard.
What do you got, RGG?
The things that I heard is that Insomniac it is in a kind of a development hell at the moment, because when I think it was this time last year when the Insomniac leak happened, and since then I think that what I have been from what I heard, this thing has hurt them very, very much. So that's why I think that the Spider-Man 2 DLC is delayed. That's why we haven't seen a Venom. That's why we haven't seen. That's why we haven't seen anything from a Wolverine yet. So I think that's the main reason. And it surprises me because you would think that now we would already have a Spider-Man 2
Yeah,
DLC,
it's been a year, right?
something.
It's coming up to a year.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say to that is, if you notice, PlayStation is announcing and releasing much closer windows now. So Astrobot was announced just 3.5 months before it released.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was literally
That's why I think
just a few months before.
Ghost of Yotei is going to be. I think I say April, May. I could be wrong, but that's the way I'm reading it. Because then you have Death Stranding, which will be in the fall, and Singer's kind of right here, guys. And if you guys want to throw tomatoes at me, that's fine. But I think GTA 6 all but locks up probably Game of the Year next year. Not that that's the say-all end-all.
I think so too.
We won't allow it.
I think he's right. I was just busting his balls. Yeah.
Keely will not allow that.
No, Kojima won't win it because their sex tape will accidentally leak online, and then he can't give him the award.
Keely's going to wear the tightest pants that day. He's going to give him his award.
Oh my god.
The sneakers and the tightest pants, smuggling grapes, and he's going to be given that Kojima award. That's happening.
It's not happening. I willing to throw down on that.
It's Keely, the Keelys.
The Keelys, everybody.
The thing is, because when GTA 5
released, down, I'd love to see you fight.
No. The thing is, it's like, yeah, GTA 5 released, but no one knew it was going to be as big as it was when it released, right? We only knew after the fact that it's as big as it is. So, GTA 6, the hype, just the sheer hype level and momentum that the gaming media is going to suck Rockstar off so hard. Reach around and everything. Like, that all of them are going to go GTA Game of the Year. Like, come on. I'm already calling it. GTA will get a 90+ meta.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. If GTA 6 isn't my Game of the Year, I'll be surprised because that shit looks insane.
It does.
It
really does.
I'll be surprised.
So before we move into the PlayStation State of Play, because there's a lot to talk about there, I just want to say Ocelot was still referring back to the Pro Console. Just shout out to Ocelot. He says everything's expensive. Why would anyone want a Pro Console not to be strong and worth the money spent on it? It's insanely strong, past what we expected. You know, it's funny because I will say this before we go on the State of Play. You know, Jez, Nib, all you guys, Singer, RGG, like, the thing about it is we're seeing early, what is it there? Internal reviews from Digital Foundry and a few other techs that got their hands on this, and they're impressed. And this is out the gate. Yeah. And you even have Jez that said it. Jez goes, Mooch, they didn't really show a lot with it yet. They didn't. They're showing games. And I know that Dragon's Dogma showing at, not in the city area, but out in the wild, out in the rural areas, they're showing roughly like what? Mid 50 frames. And then it was like high 40s, low 50s in the city, I think, or something like that. Somewhere in the 40s, I think, for the city, which is very taxing even on a very, very powerful PC. So, you know, this is the situation right now. And I think we were talking about it before the show. I don't really want to get into it now. It's just too far removed from what GTA's performance will be. I'm talking about just the PlayStation exclusives that show up on their day one, right? And what you're going to get from certain not all third parties are going to be Dragon's Dogma 2 intensive. You know what I mean? You're going to have games like, Black Myth Wukong. That game, I bet you, runs phenomenally after the PS5 Pro is out. Or much better.
We actually don't know.
We don't. No, but it's a very linear game. It's UE5,
well,
I know.
We don't, but the developer did speak on it. That they said something about the game is made for PS5 Pro or something like that. Like,
the thing is, the major problem. Major problem is Unreal Engine 5 right now. All Unreal Engine 5 games run like ass. Like, Unreal Engine 5 is a bad engine right now. All the games, bar none, there is always problems with Unreal Engine 5 when you see a game come out. Like, the only one that's running great is like Fortnite. And that's on Unreal Engine 5. But that's because it's Epic's own game.
I would add to that as well. I would say the other issue is the Unreal TAA and FSR is pretty dog poo as well. Like, FSR does not work very good on consoles. Like, it's just a smear fest.
And that's what Digital Foundry brought up, was like, we haven't seen what the Unreal Engine 5 games are going to do on the Pro. We've seen Decima, we've seen other engines, but Unreal Engine 5, that will be the test of the Pro's power, because those games are horribly optimized. Oh, they are so bad.
Here's the thing. So just to speak to that, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because this information came out years ago, but PlayStation has, they're investors within Epic, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's, I just think that
they own a small percentage of it, yeah.
Right. So you would think that they're probably going to work hand in hand to try and make that work quite well with PSSR, etc. Or do you guys think no way? Is that a stretch?
100%. No, 100%.
Yeah. So
because the gist I get from Sterny with the original PlayStation 4 presentation was these consoles are designed with developer feedback first and foremost. It's not really like, oh, how much hardware grant? It's more like, okay, what do you guys need? What things will make the pipeline more efficient? Like, where do you want, savings and decompression? Okay, you don't want the CPU utilization there. So, PSSR is like another one of those things, right? Because they're not happy with FSR or they're not happy with CBR, whatever it is. So I'm sure, given that Unreal is the most popular engine, third-party engine, I have to imagine that they have. And even the Unreal 5 demo, the desert demo, was on PS5. It was originally custom made for the PS5.
So I think
I'm sure they.
So just using and Singer, listen, this is all just taking different pieces of information over the course of years, and we're piecing it together. And you go, Mooch, wait a minute, your puzzle's not even, that piece doesn't fit with that. I get what you're saying, but there's enough evidence here to start to put something together. I think as time goes on, my point was we're seeing impressive numbers now, and the unit really hasn't been in developers' hands. They're using it now to develop future games. I think you're going to have to be PS5 Pro compliant to release on PlayStation moving forward, right? And that was probably, the date was even backlogged. Back in the PS4 Pro, it came out in October, and they said any games that were being, produced August of that year on have to be forward, PS4 Pro. Whatever it was, the dates are, I think they're doing something very similar in mandating with the developers now for the PS5 Pro. Shout out to Ocelot. He says Sony knew Digital Foundry would do better for free. Isn't that the true Ocelot? Everybody's happier when they get things for free. The great Straight Shot, he says, I'm waiting to pick up a Pro at a store. I want to buy it and then enjoy it. Well, don't forget, though, Straight Shot, I don't blame you for that. Me and you were in the same boat, but not for the same reason.
And I'll be right back.
No, go ahead, Jez. The great Jez7780 even said it himself. He said, I want to be able to have it. And Nib said, I ordered it because they're going to get it delivered to them day one. So they're still going to be playing their PS5 Pro day one, short of mail issues. But let me do this. So, guys, I have, listen, I go to the website and I just read them off there. I used to take notes while I was watching the show. Now I just enjoy, but doing podcasting for so long, I really enjoy when whether it's the Game Awards or it's a State of Play or it's an Xbox showcase. I like watching the show. I don't take notes as much as I used to, so I go back and take them later. Astrobot free DLC. I'll just read these real quick. The Midnight Walk, okay? Metro Awakening, Hell is Us, the Arcade Chronicles, Pal World on PS5. A lot of people didn't think that was going to happen right away. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie pack, TMNT Shredder's Revenge DLC, Neo Dimension, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which we got to talk about that. I know that Singer's dying to get into that. Alan Wake 2 DLC, Hitman VR, Soul Reaver remasters, Lego Fortnite, Dynasty Warriors. I'm naming these just so we can put things in perspective. Monster Hunter Wilds, Lego Horizon Adventures, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, which we'll get into a side story that launched today. Stellar Blade plus Nier Automata, which is going to be a DLC. Of course, Ghosts of Yotei. I hope I'm saying that right. Again, please correct me if I'm wrong. And then they went into the PS Plus Towers of something or the Chrome Collection. I'm not going to get into that. That's basically it. Sorry to take so much of the time on the show there, but I think you guys needed to hear what was, on the docket there. So I'll start with you, Nib. Nib, what did you think of the show overall? I mean, did you think that it was a good show? I gave a score, and I watched the show a couple more times. I'm going to slightly tweak my score, but nothing wild. Nib, what'd you think?
Are you tweaking it up or down?
Just slightly up, because I thought I was a little low.
Same.
Yeah.
So that was also me. Like my expectations were low anyway. I went in and I was probably like, oh, I'll give it a 6 or maybe a 6.5. But then I rewatched it again. And I was like, actually, it's pretty good. Like, and not just that, a few things that I was not expecting. Like, I was not expecting the $10 upgrade on the remastered Horizon Forbidden West. I was not expecting Ghost of Yotei. I was not expecting the Astrobot free update with the 5 worlds or whatever. So, and then a few of the games they showed, the third-party stuff, I thought looked really cool, really compelling. There was a lot more VR stuff than I was expecting, and a lot of people have been saying, VR's dying. Well, clearly not. Like, they had a lot of good stuff on that, artsy stuff as well that actually looked visually compelling. And then obviously Hitman as well. That's cool. Like that seems like a kind of game that would be really good for VR. So on reflection, when I went back and I went through it, I was like, oh, I think you were too low. But when you go back and not like, I wouldn't necessarily consumer friendly, but like it was less egregious than maybe I was expecting. And even Horizon Lego, which is not usually my type of game, it's basically just like the movie, the humor and the writing and the visuals are like phenomenal. So I was like, oh, do you know what? Like, and you build your own world and theme parks and stuff. So it has sort of additional mechanics, sort of almost strategy like mechanics and stuff that they've integrated.
Yes,
I just thought that was cool as well, and that makes me more interested in the game. So overall, when I look back, just the number of freebies, the games they showed, ending on a AAA first party game, as far as I know, a State of Play has never done that before. Correct me if I'm wrong. They've never had a big tentpole, have they?
I thought they ended on Wolverine that one time. The reveal of Wolverine.
Oh, that didn't show gameplay.
No, but it was
they
revealed.
ended on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that did surprise me. So yeah, I would probably bump my score up to maybe a 7.5. Let's just say.
So you went to a 7.5. So
7.5. Yeah.
Well, so I guess me just if we're gonna go ahead and do that, I might as well just throw that out there. I said 6.57. 7.5 is where I think the landing spot is for me too. And
okay, nice.
That's exactly where I was gonna go. I started at a 6.5 when I tweeted out. But really, when it came down to it, I really liked the pacing of the show. I liked what I saw. I thought the $10. Listen, you guys know how I feel. I'm not gonna change my mind on Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll probably kick in the $10 because I want to have I own Zero Dawn. I didn't get it for free. I own it. Bought it when it came out. I never really cared for Zero Dawn as much because I thought the writing was a bit lackluster. Of course, the facial animation staring off into space. But for $10 to have the PS5, which would be Pro Edition, and it looking really, really great, that's fine. I have it in my collection already for $10 more. Why not? Just to see if maybe I will go back and give it a shot. I did Platinum Horizon Forbidden West, which I thought was much, much better than the first one. But maybe I didn't give it the old college try. We'll see. RGG, what did you think of the show itself? Did you like the games shown, and what did you grade it?
Well, I think that I agree with you guys. I think to me it was also a 6.5, but I have to say that it was much better than the previous State of Plays. I think that Sony, that they are actually listening to their audience, and I think that they are starting to understand that each fan base doesn't want to see service-based games. It doesn't want to see things like that. They want to see exclusives. They want to see that they have that, they want to see things that they are going to make them hopeful and happy for the future, like the next year. So I think that it was an okay show. I really loved seeing, Ghost of Yotei. In the end, I was actually dancing on my seat when it happened, and I was live also, and I was dancing on my seat, like yes.
That's why you. That's why you get.
So
more
tell me
views.
you have a clip of that. I need to see.
I have a yes.
I need to see that
can
too.
send you. I will make a clip of it later. Yeah.
That's why he gets
Yeah,
better. He
because
gets better live views than I do. I mean, that's outstanding. The last person I saw do that was Tom Cruise. I think that's outstanding that you do that, RGG. That's what gets your audience excited. I love it. I love the excitement.
I was really happy that that game is actually coming out. Oh my god! And I don't care. By the way, I don't care if the main character is a female. I really don't care. I actually like it.
Yeah.
Me too.
A whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But
because we're not scared of pussy. We actually
oh
entertain
my god! What are you saying?
I don't think. Hey, Nib. I guess Stellar Blade wouldn't have been the same if it wasn't, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, photo mode, baby.
I can't believe you said that live.
wait. So RGG, you think that gets more ratings than jumping on a chair? I don't think so. I think your jumping on a chair gets way more ratings. Go ahead.
But the thing is, the other side of the coin is, as much of a good show of it was a 6.5, 6.7 show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it was as good as the Xbox showcase.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Sony, that they are slowly, that they are starting to find their groove. Once again, but I think that they need a little bit more work. They need to excite people a little bit more, because I was expecting to see something more than just Ghost of Yotei. Like, where is the Spider-Man 2 DLC? Where is I don't know, so many things that we are expecting.
Were you expecting that at State of Play though?
Yeah, because I don't think that they are doing showcases anymore. So they are basing themselves on the State of Play. So although Ghost of Yotei was nice, I really expected to see just something more. I don't know if I'm sounding too greedy, but I want to see something more.
Well, RGG, let me just take a second real quick, because I don't blame you, and I think that your opinion's valid for wanting more. But Blustery A, he says $10, ponies will buy anything. He's talking about the upgrade. My question for Blustery, and honestly, that's fine if he wants to say that. I understand where he's coming from. But if you stop and think about it, you've been paying probably somewhere around $16.99 a month for Game Pass the entire year, and the only thing you got was a 7 to 10 hour, and I'm being very, very kind, Hellblade 2 game. So I mean, when you stop and think about it, you've been paying for that service, and listen, the number, everyone keeps going, well, there's a lot of games in there. Yeah, but the sales pitch for Game Pass is get our first party day and date for this price. Their first party's been lackluster in 2024. So you've been paying $16.99, and now as of September, $19.99, okay, for a subscription that still hasn't delivered many games on a first party, first day delivery that they've been promising. So is $10 out of pocket really absurd? You could say yes. That's fine. But a lot of people that were sold on Game Pass, getting their day one big blockbuster AAA exclusives, they've been paying $16.99 a month since January, and they really haven't gotten much for it. That's a lot more than $10. So, I mean, like I say, it depends on how you look at it. Everybody sees the dollar differently, right? But we can all stretch it the same way. RGG, but I do agree. I listen, that's fine. I think you saying 6.5, but you wanted to see more. Again,
I wanted to see a little bit more, but just as I said, I think that it was much better than the State of Play that we saw last year. I think that it was much better, but maybe I am thinking too much of the PlayStation 4 era, but I want to see more exclusives. I want to see Wolverine. I want to see the Spider-Man DLC. I just want to see something more. because the PlayStation 5 is doing so well, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is coming out also, and it would be really nice to see, how Wolverine is going to run on the PlayStation 5 Pro, how, I don't know, a Ghost of a Yotei is going to run on it. So yeah, since they are releasing a new system, I want to see a bit games. I want a bit more games, exclusives that I know that they are going to take advantage of the power of that system.
I will say, RGG, in 2 days, you'll get an hour-long presentation of Death Stranding 2, and I think they will show the case that on the Pro, and that should be quite a good graphical showcase benchmark pusher.
Well, I'll tell you,
really
Death Stranding director's cut, or whatever they called that, director's edition, that looks phenomenal just on the PS5. So I mean,
exactly.
What Kojima's going to be able to do with visuals and how he moves the bar forward for the sequel is going to be quite interesting. Jez, you're back now. Jez, what was your take on the state of play? I read all the games. I don't know if you were here when I was reading them all. I won't do it again and bore everybody. I know you watched it.
No, I watched it. Yeah, I thought, I would say it was definitely I would say high sevens, between a 7.5 and an 8. I thought it was a very complete show in the sense that they had a little bit of everything. They had their VR announcement. They had, they also had some third-party games. Then they did with Ghost at the end.
Mm-hmm.
They also, it was kind of interesting that they announced games that they were releasing in PlayStation Plus, which is interesting. I don't know if they ever did that in a state of play before. So I thought it was a well-rounded state of play. It was definitely better than their previous ones. But I also, and I think the Horizon thing was kind of, on paper that thing just looked like, no, we don't want it. But I think having the $9 and seeing what that is, that definitely they didn't just up-res the first game. They kind of made it look like Forbidden West, which is definitely interesting. So I guess that's kind of the thing that they were having surprise at the October 31st, and making a $9 upgrade, it's not too bad. But I do agree somewhat with RGG in the sense that I feel like they should have definitely had something kind of lined up for that November time frame, something from them that would kind of be you want to get your Pro, you kind of put you put this new game in there and let it run. Having those games like Ghost coming out next year is nice, but I thought that something besides Lego Horizon, there, and I don't know if they're trying to think that, hey, what is it? The not Forbidden West, but the Horizon is sort of that kind of graphical thing that they kind of add that to. I know I haven't beaten Frozen Wild, so it'll be good to kind of finish that. Definitely in that new, remastered type look. I haven't finished the Frozen Wilds, but I thought it was a complete one. I did think that they were going to be more aggressive, being right up to the Pro, just kind of hey, these are the things, because Sony really does have to continue to establish the need of getting a PlayStation. With their games going to PC, it's going to be. It's going to be really hard to go look at the clarity and the distance. Now the only game that I think that really was a great showpiece was Gran Turismo 7. Seeing it running on a Pro, and that game is the best could be played only on a PlayStation. So they really kind of have to show what their first party is and where you're going to be playing their games the best day one. Because them putting games on PC is a different case now, because now they didn't have that with the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
Now looking at we had a little bit of ray tracing now with the Pro. Look at this, and it's sort of I want to see more of it. I want to see more of what they're doing. And I think Ghost was there, and it did kind of save it. I think without Ghost, it would have been definitely a little bit of a head scratcher, kind of going, hey guys, what is going on?
Yeah.
But I do feel that maybe with them ending with Ghost, this is basically the red carpet of what their first party is working on for phase 2. And I was listening to Tim Dog Space, and there was Mike Ybarra was in there, and he made a good point in the sense that he said that they are going to ramp up, he feels, in the next 2 to 3 years with releases in preparation for their their PS5, PS6, like, you know. And if you remember last gen, we all remember like the PS4 just having that incredible games in 2018, and then after that, with Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, dude, they did start a little slow, like in the PS4. It was remasters because they were saying not a lot of people played them on the PlayStation 3. They carried remasters and indies for a few years. So, you know, they were more consistent in the PS5, but I think the second wave needs to be shown, and I need to see what's cooking, because they got to reestablish that, especially now with their console out there and having a Pro. You know, you save the goods, I guess, for what your first party's working on. So they did a little bit. I thought they could have did a little bit more.
Yep.
And I thought they should have had something kind of like surprise, like lined up around the November timeframe from them to kind of, you know, boot up your PlayStation 5 Pro and have this game. But otherwise, I thought it was a very complete show. Like, if we got more of those shows, I think that was good. They had their first party there, third party. It wasn't some sort of like indie showcase. I thought it was going to be more aligned with you know, Tokyo Game Show, and maybe their partners from Japan and things like that. So sort of like kind of these unique games that they were going to show, but they didn't. They kind of what they showed was really good. So games that we didn't even see, you know, like that Come Hell, whatever the hell that one game is.
Hell is Us. Or
that looked friggin' awesome as hell. Like, so what they shown definitely was of a level of you know, really good. Like, they looked good and it looked interesting. There was like that multiplayer Dark Souls game too, like that multiplayer game that looked pretty damn cool. I don't remember the names of all of them, but I just remember what I seen. I was like, oh, it's good. And that that horror clay game, which I thought it was like Little Nightmares, but it's in VR, and it's also. So what they shown was really good. Like, I liked it, and it's stuff that you didn't know about.
Yeah, there's a lot of games we didn't see coming, things that we haven't heard coming down the pipe, Jez. I'm right there with you. And just a couple things. Shout out to B Money. You guys know B Money's been on the show a number of times. Shout out to B. B goes, PlayStation is not doing a large block of games that are coming out over 2 to 3 year span. Announcement to release window is much smaller now, and a much better strategy, in my opinion. Shout out to B Money. The great Blessed Red here. Blessed Red, I don't believe a big PlayStation fan. He says State of Play was a 4 out of 10. Ghost 2 carried it. I think 4 is a little low, Blessed. But you listen, your opinion does count. Shout out to Chris Hazan, who just he just subscribed too. Chris made a point, and did I get a chance here? No, I didn't get a chance to put it, but he said, boy, I was really impressed with PSVR. I'm paraphrasing, PSVR 2. Guys, let's not underappreciate the PlayStation VR 2 representation at State of Play, because all we keep hearing is this VR slander with PlayStation, right? It's nonstop. Well, they don't care. They don't show anything. Dude, that game you're talking about, Jez, which I have here. Hold on one second. Shame on me.
The first one.
Was it the very first one?
I think it was one of the first. It was
the Midnight Walk.
First, second one.
The Midnight Walk is what it's called. So the Midnight Walk. Really great. Now, what a surprise that's going to be in VR. Really looking forward to the Metro Awakening. And then there was another one too as well. I thought VR had another
VR Hitman. That's what it was. The SSJ said, yeah, the Hitman VR.
No, I'm not normally like to sit there and play insane amounts of
stealth.
The
first one got me a little nauseous when I played it. I don't know where I played it. I think it was on the first VR, like the Hitman VR. I think it was when it first released. They had the Hitman VR.
This one looked like it was.
Now this is the collection, I think.
This one looks pretty good. Looks well
done.
I
know. It gets you a little.
Am I a stealth guy? Not really. So I don't know about that one. But the one that we were talking about, the claymation type one, that one there really piqued my interest. And the Metro. Here's my thing, Jez.
Metro,
I think
good.
The Metro Awakening, I think, is the closest thing we have currently. Will be the closest thing we have to a Half-Life Alyx. I'm not saying it's Half-Life Alyx. I would love for that to come to PlayStation VR 2, but. It's the closest thing I think we're going to get for a while. It looks very good. And the Metro games have never really been my favorite story to follow. I know you guys know I love post-apocalyptic, but that post-apocalyptic world is always very, I don't know. It's Chernobyl. Like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, I don't know. For some reason it doesn't. But here's the thing. For me to play it in VR and be able to experience that, walking around, looking all around that world, that may be a different case. And because it does have that first person shooter action in it, I'm really been dying for that in VR. So, with a story base. So we'll see. I thought that was very, very good. Death Singer, do I dare ask? Everybody put your seatbelt on or pour yourself a very, very strong
put your
drink.
seatbelts on, strap
Yes,
yourself in,
pour
go
yourself
get
a
yourself
drink,
a psychiatrist after this.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, as everyone knows, I go into every show with the mindset, it doesn't matter if it's Xbox or whoever. Like, I'm going in with Sega and Square tomorrow. I'm going in the same mindset. Sell me your video games. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Show me a game that I want to play.
Okay.
So, I was looking through the show, and I'm like, 90% of these I ain't going to play, right? But then, they came across Dragon Age, which I've seen enough of. I mean, it looks...
That was a nice showing.
I mean, like Dragon Age, I still don't trust BioWare. Probably never will. We'll have to see. We'll take a wait and see approach on that. Now, the other thing is Dynasty Warriors. I'm like, okay, cool. They keep showing off this game, but it's like I'm excited because I adore the series, but Koei Tecmo is a complete trash bag of a company, and they completely ruined Dynasty Warriors 9 by filling it with like 1 million microtransactions. And that's why it's the way it is on Steam. Like, I ain't even bought it.
Yeah.
Because they microtransaction literally everything in the game. And I'm like, yeah, I don't trust you either, so screw off. And then the rest of the show, it's like, the only reason why I gave it the score I gave it was because of Ghost. If they didn't show Ghost, it would have been even worse.
What score did you give it? And I apologize if I missed that, Singer.
What?
What score did you give it? You said I would have given it a lower score, but I gave it a higher score because of Ghost.
I gave it a 2 out of 10.
A 2?
Ghost got it.
He's such a
Come on. I thought you got at least a 1.
At least
no.
A 0.5.
The thing is, it would have been a 1 if they didn't have Ghosts. They would have been a 0, actually. But Ghosts, I was like, okay, I give it to you. But when I look at the show, I'm like, Astrobot, no interest. All the VR games I have no interest, because I don't do VR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to take out all the VR games, because I'm not interested.
What about Stellar Blade photo mode?
See, but the thing is, console guys have...
That's right. I thought of that thing as soon as I saw that. I was like, holy crap.
No, you see, hear me out on this, you see. Because Stellar Blade will come to PC. We don't need no photo.
Oh, that's why.
In matter of fact, we could just go the full shebang, my guy. We will get the premium experience. So that doesn't matter to me. Console guys will have to deal with your photo modes and whatnot and enjoy it for what it is. But if you want the premium Stellar Blade experience,
first has to come to PC first before the.
It's coming.
What about Hell is Us or Monster Hunter? Like, those didn't appeal to you?
No, the thing is, we
got to wait for that frame rate, though.
Thing is, I love Monster Hunter, but I've already seen it. I know about it. That's not why you showing me. You're showing me.
They have shown a lot of that game, though. That thing's been everywhere. Like every show, it's been there. Like I felt like we've seen a lot of Monster Hunter.
I'm sorry, I can't give you credit for that game.
It looks awesome, though.
The same thing with Dragon Age. I can't give you credit for that. I've seen so much of it. I even watched the video BioWare did about Dragon Age.
Just for personal clarification, does that mean only new announcements or reveals get points with you? Like no existing trailers or anything? Like
no,
they couldn't show.
It's okay. It's okay if you show me like a second viewing of a game, but I've seen like 6 different trailers of Monster Hunter Wilds by now.
But did you see the gameplay that they showed in that though? Because that's
I've seen the gameplay, but the thing is, I can kind of piece together what Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be. As a Monster Hunter fan, you can piece together what the game's going to be, right? And the thing is, what they do in trailers is they'll show so much of the game that they'll end up ruining parts of the story. When you actually get your hands on the game, you're like, oh shit, they showed that in the trailer, but you didn't know at the time. And so I'm like, let me just stay away. I know the game's going to be good, but then it's like half the games in here, I really do not care. So it's kind of like, how can I give you a good score if you're not selling me on anything? There is nothing to sell me here. Because I was already going to buy Monster Hunter. I don't play Alan Wake. Not for me.
By the way, one thing that I want to say, and I forgot to say earlier, this state of play made me to want to go and buy a PlayStation VR2 because of
yes.
Metro. I really want to play that game. I really want to stream it to my audience here because it really looked so good, and it is the first time that I see a state of play where it made me want to go out and buy a PSVR2. I mean, it is insane.
I'm glad you said that, RGG. Go ahead, Nip. Take the mic.
Hitman as well looks cool. And what was that other game? The new one with the like creative art style. I thought it looked fantastic.
The Midnight Walk.
I don't remember the name of that one.
Yeah, that looks so good. And then and Hitman, I just thought would be really fun in VR, right? Like strangling people, and I'm going to sound like a psychopath, but you know, like doing all your crazy stuff. Like, I don't know. I think
dual guns and things, you know.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Am I the only one that's looking forward to the Metro Awakenings? I think that looks really good. I think it's going to be.
I think it looks fantastic. Yeah.
An outstanding VR game. I don't know. I don't even like the Metro series. I like it for the fact that it's going to be that in depth, that kind of. The graphics look amazing on it. I think it looks more. It's one of the more realistic looking type of games. I think it's like Half-Life Alyx for me. It's the closest thing to it. Excited to have a game like that.
By the way, Mooch, do we know if Half-Life Alyx is out on the PSVR2?
No, it is not. But you can play. But I bought the PSVR2 PC adapter, so I own Half-Life Alyx on Steam. So I can use my PSVR2, but on my PC. But
on that point.
Yes.
If Valve ever announced Half-Life 3 as a PC exclusive, I'd go and build a PC rig straight away. I would build a PC rig straight away.
Valve will, because Valve, like, what Valve doesn't need PlayStation. Like, Valve needs no one. Valve is PC. So, like, Valve is just sat there, like, no, but, like, if Valve were to make a game, I would see it exclusive, like what they did with Half-Life Alyx. Because it's their own personal game they made. So if for some reason... Well, first of all, if they announced Half-Life 3, it'd break the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And then, secondly, everyone would be like, is it coming to console? They'll probably be like, on day one, no. It'll probably come later. And then everyone's going to be building their $2,000 PCs. And then they'll be like, hey, welcome to the PC Master Race. Enjoy your stay.
I will preface, though, I would need them to overhaul the engine. I don't mean like an iterative. I mean like a big jump. So Half-Life 3 was a big jump. Yeah.
I mean, Half-Life 2 came out like 20 years ago. So I would imagine they'd have a new engine. 20 years is a long time.
But like back in the day, like when you played Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, that shit was like blew me away. When I looked at the water and the physics with the gravity gun and stuff, I remember that was like groundbreaking for me back then. It's actually what got me into PC gaming as a primary, because Counter-Strike Source.
Gone. Oh, I was going to say Half-Life. The one problem is though the AI is so janky. Like you could throw a grenade at the feet of the soldiers.
Yeah.
They're in the facility, and they will kick the grenade against the wall and kill themselves. And it is the most hilarious thing ever, because they want to get rid of the grenade, but the AI doesn't know what to do, right? It's really rudimentary AI. And they kick the grenade, and they're pointed at the wall, and they just kill themselves. And it's funny, because you're like, okay, that's weird, but whatever. But no, either way, it's like... And for those in the chat who are saying I gave it too low, Xbox's Tokyo Game Show, I gave that a 2 out of 10 too.
Well, there you go. People were asking me to ask you that singer. They were like, what did he say about that?
I gave it a 2 out of 10 suck it, because all the games there I already know about and want to play, and there was nothing new show. So
Half-Life is an interesting thing, because I actually sometimes think, like, people always say, like, PlayStation has popularized this kind of cinematic style of gameplay, which is very exposition or like immersive heavy, right? But I actually think Half-Life type games did it before, because if you play those games, like if you remember, like when you play Half-Life 1, like the original, a lot of the time you're just walking through the lab and seeing shit unfold and seeing people get dragged into ventilations and experiments. It has that like kind of immersive cinematic feel where you're not necessarily engaging in like mechanical gameplay, but you're taking in the experiential side of things, right? And then the same again with Half-Life 2, and you have the lab and you meet the professor and everything like that. That it has so much of those kind of things, and I feel that is the kind of DNA that PlayStation itself has latched onto as well with their kind of more modern games. But yeah, I've always loved those type of games, and I would love for a Half-Life 3. Needs to happen.
Also, to answer Patient Fire in the chat, Hellblade 2, guess what score I gave it? I didn't even waste the bandwidth to download it.
What did you give it? You didn't play it?
I didn't even waste the bandwidth. No, I could save that data and use it to watch Mooch's old shows, you know?
I appreciate that. Thank you, Death Singer, for the...
watching Mooch's old shows would be a better use of my time.
Absolutely.
And data than playing Hellblade 2.
Crossfire and MNC they're in syndication.
I'm not like knocking your old shows or anything because I haven't seen them, but how do you know though? Because you might enjoy it. You never know.
It's true. You might enjoy it.
No,
you might enjoy it. Like how do you know without playing it?
It's the thing is, I have my interests and what interests me, and that does not interest me. Like, if I told you how many people wanted to play Frostpunk 2, on my hand, and maybe one other will be the only hand that went up, because no one cares. That's the way I feel about Hellblade 2. I don't care.
Well, there
so
you
are
go.
You telling me you've never played a genre of a game that was not your typical genre that you don't typically enjoy, but that you really love?
So I spread out. It's how I've become so diverse. Is because I tried different genres. But the reason I tried those genres was because the games was in my interest. Like I Space Marine 2. It's like, why do you like Warhammer so much? I absolutely adore Warhammer.
I just beat that game. That game was awesome.
The first Space Marine.
Warhammer. I don't.
So wait,
I enjoyed it a lot.
Here, so let me.
It is a great game. But what I was going to say was the first Space Marine that released on 360. Right. The only reason I tried that game is because it had the Warhammer 40k logo on it. I know what that is. I love Warhammer. If that was any other name, if you called it Timbuktu, the shooting simulator, I wouldn't have given a shit.
So here,
I missed the game.
What you guys don't realize is Nib is going to start a short series of podcasts called "What Makes Death Singer Tick." So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and move on to another topic real quick here, guys. So let's Ghosts of Yotei, real quick. I want to ask you guys. So this was the big release, right? That was the big showing. Everyone, listen. The internet went on fire. They're taking this and they're doing something interesting with it. I didn't think Sucker Punch was going to do this, but it seems like everybody, whether it's Last of Us, which by the way, The Last of Us 2, The Last of Us on HBO season 2 trailer launched today, and it was absolutely fire. So if you haven't seen it, please go over and check it out, guys. It's amazing. Really hits you in the feels, by the way, too, because
it's perfection. It's literally perfection.
It really is. You know what's coming too. But it looks like whether it's that or it's Fallout. They're all trying to take a crack at the movie business or the TV show or subscriptions, whether it be Amazon or HBO, you guys fill in the blank. But they're taking Ghosts of Yotei and they're really taking it and they want to go movies, they want to franchise it. So they're not just doing the Jin story anymore. They've gone on and moved on to another protagonist, and they're taking it as this is the Ghost of Yotei, and then they're going to go that way with it, and then if there's a third iteration, I'm expecting a third Ghost. So, I mean, what do you guys think about what you saw as far as the visuals and what's going to happen with the PS5 Pro? But also, what do you think about this being franchised and the way that they're doing it?
I think it's interesting, like the Ghost of story and like doing different stories. I think that allows them to kind of create like new characters and having new abilities and things like that, so they're not always tied to the main, like Jin and all what he can do, and then just give him a new abilities. Like this person now could have her own. It looks like she could control animals or something like that. It looks like there's some sort of like environmental animal control, like with the wolf scene, and
I
then
saw
also
that,
with
yeah.
her, with the herd of with the horses and stuff like that, like doing that was pretty cool. So I do think that it's interesting that they're doing that, and that they could expand it to other things. I just, the one problem I just have is just I don't want people to I don't want that. I don't like when the game didn't even come out yet and they're already talking about like, oh, movies and this and comics, and it's like, stop. Like, just get the game out and then do what you want to do. But then it makes it feel like, did you make this game to have those tropes because you're gonna finish the story in the movie or something like that? Like, don't cheapen, don't like affect the game because you want to do other things with it. If they want to be their own thing and kind of do that, that's fine. But I just don't like when you announce a game and then talk about this plan. Just like when they announce, hey, this game's going to be a trilogy. It's like, get the first game out first. Then we'll talk about trilogies. So, like, it's nice that they want to do that. I think it definitely frees them up to kind of explore different areas and different places within there, and different stories and different abilities. So that is good. The only thing is that, does that mean that, Sucker Punch now is just the ghost of whatever studio, and they're ever gonna revisit Infamous or anything like that again, or this is kind of like they're gonna be like, hey, they'll the ghost of studios and just do everything Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah. So I mean,
stuff like that.
That is
but it looked good. Like, I think it looked really good. I'm excited for it. Definitely, I think it's gonna look incredible, and I think the major thing that we're gonna see probably is like more environmental interaction, more things going on, more animals in the environment, more things like, more huge, bigger battles, more massive stuff and cooler effects and things like that. So I just think that I'm excited to see it. I want to see more of it. I'm glad that we did see gameplay.
Yes.
And also with cinematics as well. It wasn't just a title screen and they said coming 2025, doing their
25. It's coming.
They didn't do any of that. So at least they basically
I swear to God, that sound
coming.
clip absolutely. When you use that,
I was glad it was gameplay. That means
when you use that and J-Dub uses it on Twitter,
dude, it's the best thing.
I can't stop. Oh my God!
PlayStation.
So great! It's great.
I love it.
I knew it. All right. So shout out to the great Mega Cloud 47. He says, Death Singer. He goes, this is him saying he's Death Singer. Death Singer, I'm diverse. He goes, also Death Singer, I'm not playing God of War or Hellblade 2. LOL. So,
I mean, to be
Straight bot or anything.
But the thing is, it's like, what would you class as diverse? RTS, JRPG, Western RPG?
No, that's just
JRPG. Oh, and I could keep going. First-person shooter.
No, I would.
Shooter, hero shooter, arena shooter, RTS.
You're just playing shooters, bro. You're just playing shooters.
MMO RPG. MOBA.
He's like, shooters where you use a sniper rifle, shooters where you use a plasma gun, shooters where you use a
but first person and third person are different genres of shooter.
Oh God, that's too funny.
But it's not that diverse though. I would say diverse is when you don't have any genres that you wouldn't be willing to try. Like, you'll be open to anything, right?
Like, I am open to anything.
Death Singer, why don't you stream?
The game has to interest me, though.
Why don't you stream?
Yeah, fair enough.
Why don't you stream God of War? Everybody would pay to watch that.
No, I wouldn't, because I'd be bored out of my mind.
He would hate playing, like one of those people who'd be like, oh, this is so rubbish. Oh, this is cool, but this is rubbish.
What I'd prefer to stream is like I know it's not going to get any views, but League of Legends. Like, I would want to stream Marvel Rivals, or I'd want to stream Pillars of Eternity, or
Isn't that coming out in December? Marvel Rivals, isn't that December?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say, Mooch, doubling back to Ghost of Yotei.
Yes, please.
A few little cool things, because I was going to do a tweet on it, but then I couldn't be bothered. But so the location that it takes place, as roughly as I've calculated it should be like approximately up to 6 times bigger. So the actual island is considerably bigger, but I think they're only using the location around the mountain. So it should be a much larger. But more than that, the period in which it takes place, 1603, is the same year that the Tokugawa clan became the shogunate. So they formed the shogun, Tokugawa Ieyasu. So that will be cool because there's going to be all that, with conflict with the locals and everything. And also around Mount Yotei itself, there was another clan. I think they're called Matsumi. And they basically had constant conflict with the locals who they regarded as like barbarians and stuff. I think they're called the Anoi. So I assume she might be from them, and she'll be going up against maybe even the shogunate and this other clan. So there could be really cool like story interconnections, and things could be a lot more let's just say like epic or larger in scope. And one thing also, like if you notice right at the very end of the trailer, she has a matchlock. She's using a matchlock, so you could actually have long range firearms as well to add to your arsenal. And then she's got
I would love that.
That was cool.
I would love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, then she's got dual wielding katanas. She's got the new I forgot what I think it's the Yaragami or something like that, but it's the sickle and chain. So she's got a whole arsenal of different weapons. It should be really cool.
I love to climb trees and stuff and jump around between trees.
That'd be sick. Yeah,
dude, that would be great.
Nice.
Like scale some trees, get above, have more verticality.
Yeah, I think what I like to see here is they know that Ghost of Tsushima is such a huge hit, right? So since it being a hit, they have the engine, they have things. Now they can really build upon the game. So the things that Jez is saying right there, Nib, what you actually read that is factual, but then be able to take that and kind of move on from that and see what else we can do besides the katanas and having that long range weapon. Would I like to do the verticality that you're talking about, Jez? Yes. I think Rise of the Ronin tried to do that, of course, but Rise of the Ronin kind of feels it'll always feel like a beast quality compared to Ghost. So I don't know. I'm all for it if they can get that mechanic down right. I don't think they're going to, or they would have shown that. I think they would have shown it even if it was in a.
This doesn't get the red
CGI.
carpet treatment. They're going to show it a couple of times.
That's right. That is correct. It'll get its own. I think it'll get its own state of play.
Yeah, definitely.
When it's ready to come out,
and its own controller, maybe. They've been pumping out these friggin' controllers like crazy now.
They really have been moving through these controllers at a rampant rate, right? It's almost kind of wild.
It's wild.
So, RGG, did you have any comments on Ghost? You did already mention your opinions on it. I just don't want to leave you out.
Yeah, I sent you guys the clip where I was dancing on my seat when the game got announced. So you can see that there.
Where did you send
I want to see that. I want to see that for sure.
I just sent you a DM of that. So yeah.
You must have a pretty good gaming seat, because I feel like if my fat ass got onto my PC gaming seat...
Yeah, I don't know if it would make it. Yeah. That's a great point,
not really, but
So...
Anyway, I am really excited about that game. I don't get why people are saying on Twitter that the game doesn't look good, because I think that it really looks awesome. I think that it really looks... fantastic, and I had people saying even here in Greece that the game doesn't look that good. That the game, that it doesn't look that good, and I am saying, what the fuck are you smoking, man? For fuck's sake! I mean, it looks bloody awesome. Anyway, I am really excited, but mostly because I have a confession to make. I really didn't like Jin Sakai.
I thought you might say that. Yeah.
I never liked him for some reason. I mean, he was an okay guy, but he never really clicked with me. Yeah. So seeing a new main protagonist this time around, I think that it was really refreshing. And but yeah, I am really excited about that game. I love it already. I don't care.
I remember when Ghost of Tsushima was being shown the first time. I remember all the criticism. Oh, the world looks so empty. This isn't going to be anything big. Remember? Do you guys remember that? I remember all the the backlash.
Yeah.
And then
oh my god, every time. One thing I will say, and I could be wrong, but it's just the impression I got from the trailer. Every framing of her looking through the gaps in her like top hat, and like she basically slaughters someone in cold blood who's already injured in the beginning scene. He's like waxing lyrical. She gets off her horse and she kills him just like that. I get the feeling that she's going to be, because as far as I've heard, it's a tale of vengeance. She's basically going to be more like Ellie, like super ruthless. Yeah. And I think from a narrative and gameplay perspective, that's way more exciting. Because the thing with characters like Jin and even like Aloy and stuff like that, they're so like stoic and good. And it's just like, bro, we don't always want good. We want fucking evil. And sometimes you want to be shocked. You want to be surprised.
You know, it's funny you say that. So do you remember the decisions you had to make in Ghost of Tsushima to be good or to be, I always pick the good route just because that's how Jin came off to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I might be more sinister in this game, which should be fun. I completely agree with you.
Yeah. I don't think you would. I think either way, we're going to end up being more sinister just because of the way things are going. And I have a feeling that whatever injustice she's had is probably going to be quite shocking, because the way she carries herself is like, motherfuckers, like, it's going down. Like, like it doesn't seem like a, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Family, this, that. Is none of that. It just seems like she's going down a very dark path, and that's cool. Like, I think that's going to be really, really exciting to see.
Yeah, I think that the thing is that Jin back in Ghost of Tsushima, I think that he was contemplating just about every single thing that he did. I think, but this woman here, she doesn't give a shit about anything. She just kills the guy and she moves on. So there is already a big difference when compared to the previous game.
I think. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, every look she gives is like proper. It's like almost hate. Like, it's like, okay, like, I'm gonna actually kill you badly. I think that looks so cool. She just has a very badass aura about her.
I definitely dig that. I can get my mind around that. I think that's something that brings a different element to it. I do want to ask you guys a question, and since we have the great Death Singer here too, does anyone have any more on Ghost? I don't want to cut anybody off. I wanted to kind of move on to another subject because this is kind of funny. Not the delay, but the situation that's kind of occurred right now, right? So you guys remember Avowed was supposed to come out, and Death Singer, I need your help here. Avowed was supposed to come out this November, I believe. And
that was the leak date.
Okay, that was the leak date, but it did say fall holiday, I believe.
It's funny,
right?
Yeah.
And so they're like, let's move it to February when it's it doesn't have so much, attention. Now Assassin's Creed is now moved right to at least like the same day. Or listen, you couldn't time this comedy any better. So, I mean, Assassin's Creed, say what you will, a lot of people are excited about Shadows right now. I know it's getting delayed. We'll talk about the delay in a second, but it getting delayed. A lot of people are excited about this next upcoming Assassin's Creed. And Singer, you got to admit, that's Avowed's already, I think, lost some interest from some people. Not you, but I myself, I would like to still check out Avowed. I love Obsidian, I really do. I think they're a very talented group. I think Avowed has been downgraded every time we see it a bit, and now it's got some real strong competition. Does this hurt Avowed anymore, Death Singer? Now that you have this big title,
nope. See, Assassin's Creed is going to do what it's going to do. And the reason they the delay is hilarious, and the reason they did it, Ubisoft has its very own issues right now, very serious issues. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they got bought by the time their game comes out. Anyway, but no, Avowed appeals to a very different fan base than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Assassin's Creed has always been a mainstream series. It appeals to the mass market. Obsidian games haven't really been that. So, it's going to do really well on PC. It's going to do so-so on consoles. It's going to do whatever it does, right? But the PC audience is going to thoroughly enjoy it, and that's where we are going to enjoy the game. And I will play that, and a lot of people probably will play that over Assassin's Creed Shadows, depending if the delay actually helped the game. Because if they delayed it, there must be some issues.
Wait a second. This isn't the first time. Didn't they announce that this game is the first time it's going to be in Steam without going to Ubisoft bullshit?
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I
So
think
it's a big deal on PC. That thing. So I don't know about everybody rubbing their ass over in Avowed.
Well, but the thing is, if the game isn't good, you're gonna find out about it on Steam. They don't mess around, so we're gonna have.
But it's the first time
wait
it's in Steam. They said, and day one too in Steam, and not.
Well,
it
it's
is
also
the
gonna be-
first time, which is a great thing. But then also at the same time, you still have to worry about the game because as good as it looks, and it looks like it might be a fun time. Assassin's Creed also, there's a negative thing around it right now, and they delayed the game, so people are like, well, what's wrong with the game? Why are you delaying it to where you're delaying it to, right? And they could put out the press release and say whatever they
You
want.
also get the DLC for free if you order it.
Oh, hold on, Death Thing. Can I
First
just go
season,
through?
the DLC.
Can I just break down the logic here, right? So
Go on.
you said initially a lot of people will play Avowed instead of Assassin's Creed Shadows, correct?
No, I said that specifically on PC.
Okay,
A lot more people. But
do you
I
not
also
think some
didn't
people
compare
will
the two.
play? But don't you think some people will play Assassin's Creed Shadows instead of Avowed?
More people will play Assassin's Creed Shadows than Avowed.
Yeah,
Yes,
instead
yes.
of
Not a
Avowed. I mean.
debate. No,
Yes.
but like the thing is, it'd be down to if Assassin's Creed Shadows is any good.
Yeah.
And
So then
this
the other
is
point.
only this
And
is
what?
only
Wait,
taken-
what about Avowed? Isn't it come down to if Avowed is
Yeah,
is any
exactly.
good too? Like,
So the second
But
point
then
I was
again-
gonna- the
then
second point. Hold on. The
then
second
again-
point I was. The
Go on,
second point
go
I
on.
was going to make is you said, oh, because it's been delayed, but Avowed's been delayed twice.
yeah.
But
Like,
also,
you know what?
but also, you also have to
Oh,
take into
shit.
account you're not
Hot
actually.
Wheels.
You're not actually factoring the point of view, which is I'm coming from this PC space. I don't give a shit about PlayStation or Xbox. I'm talking purely PC aspect.
No, but I meant
that means
I meant
Avowed
the-
was delayed as well. It was.
Yeah.
Yes,
I meant if
But-
the perception is a delay equals in trouble, then Avowed is double trouble because it's been
I'm just-
delayed twice.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
People who are interested in Avowed are gonna play Avowed, regardless of the fact that Assassin's Creed is next to it.
And don't you think that will apply to Assassin's Creed as well?
Well, more people will play Assassin's Creed because it's Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed sells itself on its name. Like you're trying to compare the two.
No, all I'm saying is,
you shouldn't be trying to compare apples to apples because it's not apples.
I think,
No,
like,
then
for
also,
example,
wait a second. We also have Civ 7, Monster Hunter Wilds, Kingdom Come, Deliverance too. You have to
Oh.
emphasize the
Oh,
come. And
Jesus,
Like a
yeah.
Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So Avowed was delayed for Breathing Room. Well, right now it's
Avowed
getting
is
smothered.
going to get
Yeah.
It is getting
buried,
smothered.
man.
It's
It
getting
also-
buried.
it
So it's
also-
not just Assassin's Creed.
also-
It's all that other stuff that's getting smothered by.
But
It would have been better putting it
also-
out in November.
No, it also no because you will want to put it out in November. Thing is, you would want to delay the game, and it's going to do what it's going to do regardless of those games releasing. Because all these other games are big AAA, like mainstream multi-platform games. Avowed isn't that. Avowed isn't going to be on the level of an selling and popularity of an Assassin's Creed or Monster Hunter. You'd have to be an idiot to think that was the case, right? These are big
No,
story
we get that, but-
franchises.
I think what it is though, because there will be some enthusiasts, like basically everyone in this space right now, where we will, I assume, play both of those games, right? Like if Assassin's Creed Shadows was not coming out on the same day as Avowed, I would be playing Avowed. But because Assassin's Creed Shadows, not that I play every Assassin's Creed, but I just happen to think this particular one looks really strong. Like I think it looks the best Assassin's Creed personally for me since Black Flag and Unity. So I'm more excited for it than usual. So because they're coming out on the same day, me personally, I'll not be playing them on this. I'm not going to be playing both of them straight away. And I do feel maybe it won't be a huge number, but I do feel there's going to be a portion of people who it's going to be the same for, because a lot of enthusiast gamers who do dabble in multiple genres, especially of AAA kind of single player games, I have a feeling they might have to contend with a similar thing.
Well, you have to do that anyway in gaming in general because there's so many games releasing at once. Like you look at October, like games are getting dropped, right? Like people who would play Metaphor would drop it because they want to play Dragon Age, or they want to play Call of Duty. When Call of Duty releases, they drop in all their single player games. Like it's gonna happen, but with Avowed it releasing on the same day, it's like I know Assassin's Creed. I really don't give a shit. I want to play in a new world because I know
that's
what
fine. I just think the irony is pretty funny that Avowed wasn't delayed. But Avowed wasn't delayed for any quality or anything that they said. They said it was delayed to give it room to breathe.
To breathe, yeah.
And it's interesting that it got delayed to a month at the time. Yes, give it room, but now it is jam-packed now in February, and that's of what we know now.
So I think
it's just interesting that they delayed it to give it room, and now it's getting smothered.
I think the room to breathe thing was bullshit. I think they needed more time.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it.
Work on it, because I want the best possible game. But then it's like, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that the month you delayed it to, other people want to. But that's the risk you'll take with all games. But the thing is, I don't see it as like a Titanfall 2 situation. Shout out to Titanfall 2. You got disrespected so fucking hard.
Big time.
Well, EA did it to themselves.
They did.
Well,
They did,
I mean, that was but also
They stepped
at the
on their
same
own
time,
feet.
it won't be that situation because the people who will play Assassin's Creed would have played Assassin's Creed regardless of if Avowed was next to it, right? So the
what's
people
crazy
who
is that this is the first time Assassin's Creed, like it's always been the holiday game, and the fact that it's dropping in February, there's definitely issues over at Ubisoft, and the fact that they moved it out, that Star Wars must have really hit them in the nuts because they have always capitalized on the launch of new hardware and also holiday season. Like I remember when the PS5 launched, it was just like they dropped like 3 games, like Valhalla and all the other games too. What the hell? I keep forgetting that other name.
God Monsters thing. Or
that game. Like it was just crazy. These huge games.
Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, it was crazy. So now they moved this to February, which is crazy having Assassin's Creed, like a headlining Assassin's Creed game in February. I think the other thing that the delay that nobody's really talking about, that if Ghost comes out sometime, man, it is not good that they've done a game of like bootleg Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
So I have no clue. Ubisoft is in big trouble. I say don't go full Ubisoft. I'm going to tell you right now, Ubisoft, they're in trouble, man, because now they are in the same conversation. When they saw that ghost of Yotei or whatever the hell it is going on over there, they're probably like, oh damn, like now. That thing has to come out at the end of the year, because if it comes out anywhere near like in April, dude, they're gonna be compared directly to that, and it's because that's what people thought it looked like from there.
Yeah.
Like it's just they're in dude.
Well, to be honest about something, I think that Assassin's Creed games, they always had their own audience, no matter what. So I think that the game is going to be okay, I think. So I'm not worrying too much about Assassin's Creed. But the thing is that, as you guys say, it is coming out on a month when so many other games are coming out, and games that most of them we know that they are going to be good games. So I think that it is very difficult, I think, for Assassin's Creed, to maneuver itself during that month, because if it would come out in November, as it should, I think that it would have the month, the holidays pretty much to itself in some way.
Absolutely.
But now that it is coming out in February, I am hoping that the game won't be buried or something.
I can clearly
because
see.
I am a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed.
I don't think Assassin's
franchise.
Creed. I don't think Assassin's Creed is the fear of being buried. I mean, you heard everybody say it, RGG. And you being the fan that you are, you're still going to buy it. Assassin's Creed's fans are still going to go out and buy that game. It's Avowed, and we've seen games do this before. Let's hear it again. They can move the Avowed back up if they're smart. They'll be like, you know what? We're releasing it in middle January. Release it earlier, Xbox. You cannot take that list of games Jez just read off and think Avowed is going to listen. Everybody on Game Pass, but here's the problem with Game Pass on console: the game's playing at 30. We didn't even talk about this yet. It's 30 FPS again. So I understand that.
Juicy 30 frames.
I know that Singer is going to go, that's not my problem. Singer, it's not your problem. But a lot of people.
It's 30. It's juicy 30 frames, Mooch. That's quote from the dev. It was a juicy 30 frames.
What does that even mean?
Get your quotes.
What does that even mean?
I also have to push back on that because the thing is, Avowed is going to do fine. Assassin's Creed is going to body it. And I have a bold prediction. For those in the chat saying Avowed's dead on arrival, Avowed will still be around and buyable after 2 weeks. Just saying. And it sure as hell didn't cost 400 million. Anyway.
Yeah.
I
agree with you. I think that...
no, it didn't cost 400 million. It cost 8 billion.
I think that Avowed
plus
I think that Avowed is going to be the game that everybody is going to give it a try. Everyone who has a Game Pass subscription, they are going to give the game a try and see how it is. But I don't expect the game to do much more than that because from what I have been seeing, it feels to me like a type of gameplay that is really, really old. I mean, it really reminded me back in the days when I was playing Skyrim on my Xbox 360. And if I go back and play that game now, it feels really old. It feels really outdated.
Yeah.
And I think that Avowed, although they say that it has some redeeming qualities, I mean, people say that. I mean, the people who have played it, they say that it is actually good. I don't know if the game is going to do very well. I don't know. I mean, I really have a doubt. And it is also like you guys said, the 30 FPS thing, oh my God, not again.
Oh man, I'm going to have to defend this. I think 30 frames per second is not a bad choice. And I think if they...
Really?
Yeah, I would say if they can do more ambitious worlds, visuals, and number of NPCs, like let's just say densely populated cities and towns and stuff, I will take 30 frames per second all day long. But I will also preface and say nothing I've seen from the visuals or from any of the gameplay makes me think, oh, this is a 30 frames per second game. So even though I understand the decision, if it has all of those things, I haven't necessarily yet seen it. Like, it doesn't look like a visually particularly compelling game. So I am surprised it's 30, but again, like, I understand the decision.
Juicy
especially
30.
I'm not surprised it's 30 because guess what engine it runs on? I'll give you 10 guesses why it's 30.
Unreal 5.
Unreal Engine 5. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep. There's your problem right there. They chose the wrong fucking engine.
Yeah, they really chose the wrong engine. That's a good point, guys. Honestly, that really does what it comes down to. But I mean,
just wait for it to come to PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Why wait? Why wait when you could get a J1 on PC?
I'm joking, dude. Joking.
It's true. Honestly.
I just really, it's just the thing about it. First of all, Singer makes a great point. So UE5 definitely probably more than likely to blame for that. But in all honesty, it's not the first game, right? You had Redfall, you had Starfield, now you have this one. And I think that eventually Avowed will get a 60 FPS or something very close to it. Patch down the road. So that's why when they say these things, they're like, that's how we creatively thought that this should be played. This is how we think as the developer, which you don't really question the developer, but when you've seen Xbox's developers saying this in the past and then they put out a 60 frame option later, you start scratching your head. You're like, it's not a developer's choice. It's what they were stuck with to get it out the door. And then they fix it later. And that's fine. But like, don't like the juicy thing and all that. I think that's kind of wild to come out and say that. You know,
It was wild.
That's wild. You know, but I mean, these things, it's just hit after hit after hit when it comes to the big Xbox releases. And I just feel like, and don't get me wrong, Singer, you're not wrong in what you're saying, that down the road, and it may have life and it may have legs and it'll last the sands of time. I personally think with the mix of games it's coming out with, if it launches on that same day, it gets buried. It doesn't. It's not even reflecting the score of the game. Just saying it gets lost in translation, and other games take top billing, and that's just a matter of fact. Like you said it yourself. Shout out to Titanfall 2. Like that's just what happens. It happened.
Yes,
it happened to
yes.
Horizon.
Also, the factor is
Happened to Horizon too,
Obsidian.
right?
Obsidian's main fan base is on PC. Who makes the game?
Yeah.
Right. You can see where this is going. Like
the only thing I would push back on as well is what RGG said. I think because the fact that it will be on Game Pass, it will actually always find an additional audience that the other games, like for example Yakuza and stuff, may not necessarily have. Because at the end of the day, if you already subscribed and what some 30-something million people are, you probably are going to trial that, right? Or at least a good portion of people will, because otherwise, why else are you paying for your sub if not to get AAA, those kind of tentpole games? So I still think a lot of people will try it just through Game Pass alone.
I think it'll just do well on PC because that's where Obsidian's fan base is. Because when you think of their previous games, you have Pillars 1 and 2, right? They sold a good couple of million on PC, a million or two on PC.
Yeah.
Then they ported it to consoles. And between Xbox and PlayStation, they sold 75k copies.
Destiny, let me get a prediction from you. First 3-4 days, peak concurrent player numbers on Steam. What are you thinking for Avowed?
Avowed peak concurrent. That's a tough one. Because it could vary. Like, because you don't want to overshoot, but you don't want to go too low. Because you could say, okay, 20,000, 30,000. But then you could go as high as like 100,000. Or you could go higher than that. So I think that's too broad of a spectrum to put a number on it. I wouldn't be.
No, but give me your estimation though. What would be your best guess?
Best guess. 50,000.
It's fair compared using your comparisons there. Yeah.
I just don't know. Like it could be anywhere between on the spectrum. So it's like either way, it's gonna do well, and it's gonna do Obsidian well. And
does anyone know what Space Marine 2 is at peak player numbers?
Yeah, look that up, Singer, if you don't mind. It's funny, since the February announcement, Jez, you might really be keeping an eye on this. Since the February announcement that Xbox did, the only 4 games, which turned into many, many more and will be more. It's funny now, and this is not for Death Singer, because Death Singer has definitely self-proclaimed himself, he's PC, but like a lot of the Xbox guys I talk to sometimes on Twitter, X now, or I have guests on, and I'm like, that I don't think it's going to do, the 30 FPS is really going to do this. And they're like, well, Mooch, why are you worried? Why are you worried about Xbox? It's, let's talk about Steam. And immediately went to everything just goes to PC now. It's no longer Xbox, and that's one of the things that is wicked concerning. Xbox, the publisher, is going to do great. Xbox, the platform, man. Even Xbox fans I talk to, they immediately they're like, well, I'm building a PC anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to be playing it at 60 frames anyway. It's like there's no Xbox conversation anymore. It's like
there isn't.
It's like it's gone.
Deflate them.
Yeah,
they really did deflate. And it was interesting. Seeing some of the announcements that they had at the Tokyo Game Show. I think they were good announcements, but for me, it was just like, I can't believe how far behind they seem to be. Like, it seems like they just regress back to the OG Xbox and just getting stuff so late. And these announcements are like, it's nice, but it's like, and I saw somebody post on X about like, but you're missing all these other these other games, and and it's just sort of like they're trying so hard to catch up, but I just realized how far behind. Like, did they really just? It's just I can't believe that they sound like they just started. Like, hey, with the newcomer that just started this year, they've been here for 20 years.
I don't want to do. I mean, I am going to do a kind of told you so, but it's interesting because I feel like I've literally had this discussion for 5 years with PC gamers and Xbox gamers who have been trying to convince other platforms that ubiquitous day-date releases on PC is the way forward, right? And that there would be no Xbox cannibalization. Whereas PlayStation is saying, no, we're worried about cannibalization on PlayStation if we do the whole slate day-date, right? And then everyone else is like, oh, that PlayStation is being stupid. That won't happen. But then before our very eyes, there's been a massive transition, even in Crumbside, even on Crumbside Twitter, right? You go into the Xbox spaces, the Xbox like predominant spaces. I was in one the other day. There's a guy called Silky. He has them with like, I don't know, like between 6 and 12 like other Xbox cats. And I was in a space like a few months ago, and I was like, how many of you actually game on Xbox, the console? Only one of them in the entire group still gamed on, and that's why there's the like running joke is Xbox refugees going to PC. Because that's basically
with the Space Marine 2 thing, it depends who you ask. If you ask SteamDB, it peaked at 225. If you ask Steam Charts, it peaked at 186.
Wow,
for Space Marine
225. Damn, that's actually high.
Dude, the game is awesome.
It's a great game.
I played. And
I'm like level 25, dude.
Also, you have to remember.
I've been doing a campaign. I just love just mowing down these things, just ripping them all apart.
Yeah, I've beaten it. I'm doing ruthless operations now, like the hardest difficulty.
I gotta try those. Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, it's such a refreshing game, that Space Marine. Like, I really think that they really need to. Like, it just had a multiplayer, it had a campaign, like it just was a complete game.
Yeah.
And we need more of that. We need this kind of like refreshment. Not this like multiplayer needs to be separate charge, a different whole game. Like, I just love that. It was just like a traditional game complete.
Yeah.
They say we can't, the gaming industry is in a rough patch right now and this and that. And it's like, but you continue to make these, games as a service, live service games, and you're seeing that 1 out of every 20 stick, maybe 1 out of every 30.
Yeah.
And it's like you see that, but then you have games like Astrobot, and you have games like Space Marine 2, and these games that follow, right? And they follow traditional gaming,
Black Myth
right?
Wukong.
And Black Myth Wukong, right? Power World. But here's the thing, Black Myth Wukong, they just released, didn't they sell 20 million copies between PS5 and PC? Like, dude, come on, like, stop, like, that's traditional games the way that we were used to for the past 30 years. Like, it works, people. Like, people that are in the industry, like, Helldivers too. Like, that's technically live service, but that
was just that was the one that hit. The rest of but I'm just meaning these like complete games.
It's live service, but not. It's like more of like a co-op, right? PvE thing.
Well, they didn't have. Well, yeah, they had the. That's another game. Like, I felt like with Helldivers 2, they were on such a roll that this is what happens with these games. Like, they sound so promising up front. Like they rolled out the mech, and then like, what happened? Like, where's the vehicle?
It's jumped up though. Since the
last it did. It came back, but the thing is, like, it should never went down. Like, the way they were rolling it out, like they had such great momentum for the first couple months, and then it just like died down. Yes, they came back with some stuff, but still, they don't have the new enemies yet. They where's that warthog thing? The vehicles that they were going to supposedly
I agree.
Like, it's just sort of like like you got to keep the ball rolling and keep that momentum going. And I just feel like they fizzle.
I agree. I also think another thing, like, which they fell into this pitfall as well, is developers seem to want to update balancing by nerfing everything. Don't do that. Gamers love power fantasy. Gamers want to feel badass and like they can destroy shit and as much shit as possible. So when you keep nerfing shit and making it more difficult and less satisfying and more challenging, it has the opposite effect, right? Just the thing that was more fun to do before is no longer as fun because it's more frustrating. So stay away from that. Maybe increase the power or buff the other weapons that were weaker rather than nerf the weapons that were stronger.
And I do like the one thing that I wish a lot of other games do that this game did great was the community objective. So like just people playing the game and you just do one little mission or something like that, but you get the goods from that. You don't have to grind so much. Like you join up and it's like, here's a whole bunch of requisite, like here's a whole bunch of badges. Yeah. And it's just like, whoa, I just did one match. And it's like, well, you helped liberate this planet or you help liberate this. So I love that because it doesn't have to, you don't have to sit there and play hours upon hours getting one badge every game. And then the fact that you these macro achievements that everybody's doing by playing the game and stuff. I love that. And I think games need more of that, not just login bonuses, but like, you know, like you contribute a little bit, but you get a reward. You don't have to grind.
I will say another thing, like comparing, because I really enjoyed Space Marine 2, but I don't think I don't think I loved it as much as other people, and I think the reason is like after I did, you know, my fucking knows like 15th, 20th, 40th,
it is same like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's so repetitive.
It is repetitive, but it's just like a good. Just ripping maybe I just like the violence and just ripping people apart. Like, it just after a while, but you're doing the same thing. You're fighting the same. But know what I'm going to tell you? One thing I thought about Space Marine when I was playing it, it reminded me a little bit about the Halo thing. Like you fight these packets of enemies in these different environments. Like there's always like a head, like an elite, and then there's all the fodder, like the grunts, and you just want to take out the head. Like I felt like there was a lot of cool game elements to Space Marine, and definitely did co-op as well.
I just think, like, for me, if they had introduced a bit, and again, someone who used to like be into not very
jumping that mech, man.
Oh, exactly. See, like, give us
I wanted to jump in that. Like,
or give us
flying in space
more enemy. Because I was thinking, why do we only have Tyranids and Chaos and basically the same few enemies over and over and over and again? Give us Eldar, or give us Tau, or give us like other factions. There's so many in Warhammer that's so badass. It would have been cool just to have a bit more diversity. And I will say that is one thing about Helldivers 2. Orcs, exactly. There's one thing about Helldivers 2 that in Space Marine 2, it's the reason you're pushing forward and doing multiplayer and stuff is basically to unlock really badass armors because they look insanely cool. Whereas in Helldivers 2, it was more of a gameplay reward because every time you unlock new ordnance and new laser and new explosive, it's like fireworks, right? Like you're literally controlling the big bombastic production, high intensity explosions, everything yourself. It's literally direct gameplay. And the more I unlocked, and every time I was unlocking new types of, that was so satisfying. And I wouldn't say Space Marine has anything like that. The stuff you unlock is largely cosmetic, and the little upgrade tree stuff, it doesn't really do all that much, to be honest.
You know, it's funny. So you guys talking about Space Marine real quick. So I'm on the fence, and I was almost going to pull the trigger on it and pick it up on PC. But do you think that's worth waiting and checking out on the PS5 Pro?
Let me tell you something, because I have
I played it on PC.
I streamed the game on my Xbox Series X on performance mode, and I don't know how the PlayStation 5 version is, but on performance mode it looks kind of blurry at times, especially when there are a lot of things going on. On PC, where I saw it on a friend of mine, it is fantastic, guys. It is amazing.
I played it on PC,
If you can play it on the PC, play it on the PC. It looks bloody amazing there.
I will just say, if you do play it on PC, still give it a go with the DualSense. I assume PC has DualSense functionality.
Yeah, but you got to use it plugged in. You can't use it wirelessly.
Okay.
You know,
because it does actually feel really cool with the DualSense. Every footstep you feel. So when you're running, you can feel like dunk, dunk, dunk.
But are the features actually installed on the PC version?
I have no
idea.
idea.
But you got to play it. You got to play it with the USB. It doesn't work wirelessly.
Because some games still don't have DualSense functionality, even though they're on.
No, this has all DualSense. I think it even does the triggers, if I remember.
But either way, you're better off playing it on PC because again, shout out to the CPU on these consoles, it just isn't up to snuff. That's why you look at Space Marine, it look GOAT tier on the PC, and it's like, well, yeah, because the hardware.
But I tell you, it's a tough. Like, it's optimized well, but it definitely requires a good overhead to it. Like, it does take
it does.
It's is demanding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting
that's why
I'm getting asked by the chat. So what's the actual topic? The topic we were going into was we were talking. Yeah, I know. Games. We were talking about Xbox and the platform, and my topic I sent to the panel was basically here, and you guys can see it right there, is, the Xbox platform and what people have to say. Are you excited about it anymore? Because the Xbox Tokyo Game Show, I saw them releasing what Xbox did at the Tokyo Game Show, and people were commenting, and this wasn't really trolling. These are some people that actually followed. They're like, oh, I didn't know Xbox went already. I didn't know Xbox was going this soon. They didn't even know when they were going, live with that. So Tokyo, this is the Xbox showing at the Tokyo Game Show. Metal Gear Solid. Go ahead.
I'll just say this: like, the rumor from Jez Corden was like the whole Square Enix slate was coming, FF16, FF, and when it ended up being Pixel Masters, that was just another moment where I was like, this platform is cooked, man. This is dusted. This platform is dusted. Like, I don't know.
If I may say something about this, because I wanted to say this on the show for a very long time now. Yeah, I don't know if I am of the minority here, but guys, I love my Xbox. I love Game Pass. I play on my Xbox every single day. I love to try new things on a Game Pass. I understand that you guys say that the platform has no future and things like that, but I love Game Pass and I love my Xbox and I am really having fun. And to be honest, with all that Xbox has offered me this gen, especially for 2025, I am set. I don't feel that I need anything else, and I am pretty satisfied with the platform. I know that you guys are saying that that Game Pass is going to die and things like that, but
no, it's not going to die.
It's not going to die.
Yeah. People have been saying this since 2017, and Game Pass is still going.
Yeah, but you got to understand, RGG. You got to understand, but RGG.
We want to say, and I won't say anything else. I'm not worried about what Xbox is going to do this gen. I am really worried about what Xbox is going to do next gen.
Yeah,
I am really worried that the platform will become something completely different. And I am thinking, okay. Are they going to support me and my games the same way as they are doing now? And secondary, they say that they are going to launch a new a console or two. How the hell are you going to sell a console when you don't have any sales? I mean, these are the things that
yeah, exactly.
I am thinking about as an Xbox
RGG. You kind of answered your own question. Okay. You did.
Let me finish.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me finish. I don't care really about what else Xbox is going to do this gen because I am set. I am worried about what they are going to do. Next gen. That is my biggest fear. Not now, but what is coming next. That's it.
Well, so first you said people have been saying Game Pass isn't going to do well, and it's still here since 2017. First of all, you've got the richest company in the world backing it. Okay. So first and foremost, the fact that it's still here. Okay, a report just came out the other day. Microsoft spends $1 billion per year on Game Pass to keep the third-party games coming in. That doesn't even include the first-party stuff. Okay, so they're backing all that. So how is it still around? That's how they're still around. Secondly, you had Phil Spencer come out and say console is stagnant. on Game Pass. That means it's not moving. You said the consoles aren't selling and the subscriptions are not breaking records. They're not going up nearly as they want. They said back a long time ago, they said the PC was doing decent with PC Game Pass, but even that's not blowing the doors off of Redmond. So the other thing is just because you say you like it, that's fine. Like there's a lot of little like restaurants around here that people go, oh, I love going there. Yeah, you and like, just enough people to keep the doors open. It doesn't mean that you should like it less. You should love it just as much as you do. But the thing is Game Pass has not lived up to the sales pitch. The sales pitch since 2017 or whenever they launched it was basically first-party games, AAA blockbuster exclusive Xbox games day and date. That hasn't been there. They had nothing at the end of last generation. They've had very little this generation. Okay, you're going to say, well, Mooch, they got Forza Horizon 5, and they had, Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite delayed from 2020 to 2021, came out. I understand it's sitting at an 87 Metacritic. That Metacritic, I'll tell you something, man. I've said this a number of times on the show, doesn't hold a lot of water for me. It's an empty campaign, very repetitive campaign. The multiplayer is good now. The audience isn't there at all. But when it first launched, it was bare bones. And today's multiplayer gamer likes fast-paced gaming, first-person shooting. And Halo needs to step that game up a little bit. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying everybody feels that way, but if you don't believe me, that singer always does it. How many people are playing Halo right now? Not a lot.
No, I don't say that I don't believe you or something like that. I am just saying that...
I'm answering your question because you're wondering why people say this. This is why people say this. Okay, Forza Horizon 5, you give me another festival, I'm going to tell you I don't care. I don't care. Okay? The other thing, Hellblade 2, not very good. Okay? Not at all. And that doesn't mean the visuals or this and that, but it just didn't do very well. It was just a spit in the ocean, gone. Redfall, not very good. Starfield, you can sit here and say it did okay, it did good, but it didn't do what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be that next Bethesda, oh my God, jaw-dropping, amazing game. It didn't do that. So you're sitting here telling me you paid happily $9.99 a month to $14.99 a month to $16.99 a month to $19.99 a month for what the sales pitch was first-party blockbuster AAA games from Xbox Studios. Not really there. Not really there if you think about it from 2017.
To be honest with you, to me, Game Pass is the freedom of choice and being able to try and play so many games. I know that the first-party games that they are very important, but to me, they were basically the icing on the cake, as you say. Because to me, actually, what I really love about Game Pass is seeing new things coming on it every single month. And things that are, most of the times, much better from what I see on the PlayStation Plus. So that's what I am saying. As someone who plays on Xbox and on Game Pass, I am happy, satisfied. Now, my only thing is that I don't know what is going to happen next gen. That's it.
Yeah, but the thing is that's like saying you went to Olive Garden and you're happy because you got full-on salad and breadsticks. That's fine. You left.
It's not only salad and breadsticks.
It's
I don't think so. No.
It's a lot of smaller games. The PS Plus.
RGG. Let me ask you this question: out of the releases from this year, 2024, what is your current game of the year list looking like? What's your top 5 or 6?
Yeah, good way to put it, Nib.
That's a difficult one.
Of course it is. But you have 300 games.
I would say Elden Ring DLC.
Okay.
I know that it is a DLC.
It's okay.
Yeah,
and I would say
it's okay.
And I would say that another candidate it is Black Myth Wukong, which I finished today. And Jesus Christ, I don't remember anything else at the moment, but I am sure that there must be something else that I am forgetting because I am playing so many games and stream so many games every month.
Yeah. So I think it's awesome that you get the utility you do out of Game Pass. But I think because of your like streaming and stuff, your the kind of games you play and the way you play is quite different to what's typical, because you're essentially paying unique games for your stream, right? Whereas like I think a lot of like consumers, we're like, these are the games that we're most interested in and this is what we're going to buy. And unfortunately, most of the time, whether it's Black Myth Wukong and you said Erdtree or you know Final Fantasy Rebirth or Helldivers or Space Marine 2 or you know Dragon's Dogma 2 or whatever it may be, Astrobot, the majority of the games I think we will see that will occupy basically all the Game of the Year lists, I bet you like none of them are on Game Pass. And that's the thing. So if you want those, if you want your like stake,
why should that be important if a Game of the Year is on a Game Pass or not?
Because you want the best quality games, right? But the best quality games are not on Game Pass.
I believe that I am already having the best all the games, both from Xbox and from my.
Fair, but none of your Game of the Year games are on Game Pass.
Yeah, but I don't care about that really. What I care about is having fun and having a good time.
Yeah, but that was my point with the salad and breadsticks. It wasn't to be like too.
Yeah.
My point was that's fine. I guarantee you, RGG, if me, you, Nib, Death Singer, and Jez go out and we just have a bunch of beers, salad and breadsticks, you'll be like, I had a blast with these guys. These guys are great. And they'll be like, oh, you went to dinner? Yeah, we went to dinner. You won't believe it. It was endless salad. You know, so my point being is like, what you're saying to me is that's fine. I'm not taking that enjoyment away from you. But when you say, why is Game Pass always talked about in that nature? It's because nothing really comes to Game Pass that is like, oh my God, I am so glad I have Game Pass right now because I have this blockbuster game and when a blockbuster game does come to Game Pass,
like an unmissable title.
Like I'll say Dead Island 2, just to pick one out of random. That's in Game Pass, but it came to Game Pass 6 to 8 to 12 months later. Like by then I can get, you know how many times that game's been $25 or $29 on sale? Like you can just own it. Like it's or you bought it because you wanted to play it when it came out. I'm a Dead Island like lunatic. I like Dead Island, so I bought it when it came out. I don't want to sit here and say a million prayers and please let it come to Game Pass. Please let it come to Game. I'm not going to do that.
I'm not saying something like
but what I'm saying
that.
I understand
that I am praying for games to come to Game Pass because
you're not. I'm saying to you that
we have so many games to play on both systems. So there is no.
But you're changing. You're changing.
No, I agree what you're saying. But you know what you're describing is you have so many games to play because you don't want a specific game to play. You're just willing to try. It's like a buffet. Right?
It's a buffet.
You're just willing to. You can try whatever. You know, I'm not choosy. I'll just eat whatever's at the buffet.
Right.
Whereas some of us, we're like, okay, we want Assassin's Creed Shadows. We want Ghost of Yotei. Like these are the games that we're most excited for, and they're like going to be the top of our priority list. And generally, that's like how I game throughout the year.
Not just that.
For me, the most valuable thing is not money; it's time.
Time. I was going to say time's of the essence. So when you actually stop and think about it, RGG, yes, I understand. There's 250, 350, 450 games in Game Pass. We just started the show by saying how packed October. That singer was saying it. October's packed. We got games coming out left and right now. A lot of games coming out that we all want to play. So who's got time to go and try, a small game Pass? Like it just doesn't hit the radar. I don't sit there when I come home from work and shuffle through 400 games that I passed on when they first came out to see if I want to go back and play them when 3 new games are coming out next week that I like. You know what I mean? Like
I'm not saying that
I'm going straight to Space Marine 2.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Guys,
So I mean,
I'm not saying that I am going to shuffle on Game Pass and see what I am going to say, what I am going to play. I see what new things come to Game Pass every single month.
Yep.
And if I like that game, I am going to say, okay, nice. I am going to see how this game is, and if I am going to like that game, I am going to stick with it, and I am going to finish it.
So what I do, RGG, is I watch, I read a ton about different games that are coming out. I'll sometimes see the behind the scenes before a game comes out, and if I see the game and I like it, you know what I do? I buy it. So, like, I do what you do, but I just do my own. I do also. No. RGG, I'm giving you an example to counter your or answer your question in my retrospect, and you're like, well, I do that too. That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is, I'm electing when my Game Pass runs out. I don't want to pay $19.99 a month to have 300 games that I don't want to play. Like, I don't want to play those 300 games that are sitting in there. I want to play Xbox exclusives. That's why I'll elect, like, this will make Death Singer light a match. I'm going to upgrade my PC when the 50 series cards come out, because I'm not going to have a console. I'm going to be playing Xbox games on Steam, the games that I want to play. So I'll do my research. The games that I want to play, I will play there. If there's a game that you say, oh, Mooch, you missed this one game. It's a really cool indie by blah, 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 blah. And I'll go, that's awesome, RGG. Actually, I looked it up. You're right. That's an awesome game. Oh, it's only $14.99 on either Steam or PlayStation. I'll buy it. Like, I don't need to have $20 a month to find maybe a game that I want to try that I might play for 15 minutes and then put down. Like, I don't because there's too many games coming out. Like, we only have so much sand in the hourglass.
Okay, exactly, let me ask you something else. If a new cool game was coming out on PlayStation Plus,
yes,
and it was a really good game, and it was the new hot thing, and things like that.
Yes.
Would it be the same thing if you would go there to play the game over there? I mean, because it'll be
amazing if that happened with Game Pass, because if like, say, a Game of the Year banger dropped on Game Pass, that would be even more compelling. That's what we want, basically. Like, if like Black Myth Wukong went day, I know it's not even on Xbox, but I'm just giving an example. So if that went day on Game Pass, that would make it more compelling for me. If Dragon's Dogma went day on Game Pass, then I'd be like, because these are games that I will buy, like, irrespective. Game Pass isn't really giving me much that I would have bought anyway, if that makes sense. It's giving me stuff that is kind of like much lower on my priority list. But if it gave me games that were much higher on my priority list, and the same with PlayStation Plus, by the way, it's the same thing, then they would be much more compelling services, I think. Because at the end of the day,
going to give you games like that. They will give you Indiana Jones in December. They will give you Stalker 2 in November. They will give you Avowed in February. Although we
but that's few and far between, though, right? Because Hellblade came out in May?
Microsoft have been lacking in this department, but I think that they are actually.
But we've been saying,
starting to become a little bit better.
RGG, we have to pause you there, because I understand they've been lacking in that department. That is literally the line we've been saying with Xbox and Game Pass since 2017. So do the math every single month you're paying for that lacking. And you're like, but I see, you just said it, but I think they're going to turn the corner next year. They've been saying that since even this generation, since the day the Xbox Series X came out.
I know that.
Like, so, but you know that, but then when we say it, you're like, but I'm enjoying it. That's fine. You can enjoy it, but you do have to understand why. This is why people are saying this. We're answering the question.
You guys make it sound that because I am playing games on it is a bad thing that I should be shot or something like that.
No. I think it's a great thing that you do that. I think if you get value from that, I think that's fantastic. We're just trying to explain why there's other people who don't feel that way.
Yeah,
because our gaming styles differ, right? Like, I would actually only ever go on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass if there isn't a title that I'm already playing or interested in.
Right.
Like, say this month, right? I played Black Myth Wukong, Astrobot. There was something else in the beginning of the month. Anyway, there's been like 4 games I've played. I would not have played anything on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus instead of those games.
Correct.
Because I've been excited for those games for a long
Right.
time. However, if any of those games were on PlayStation Plus or Game Pass, then I would have been super excited and I would have played them there. So I have nothing. I have no issue.
Right.
I have no issue I actually want more games that I want to play on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus. Unfortunately, the way subscription services are designed, because they're designed for like margins and stuff, they're not going to be putting games like that on Game Pass because, you know, it's going to be costly for them. They're going to try and get away with, you know, lower cost games, older games, etc. So they have to pay, so they can pay a lower licensing fee, right? And I'm not one of those people who's going to wait around for that. If there's a game I'm really excited for, like Black Myth Wukong, there's no way I'm waiting 6 months to a year in the hopes that it might come to Game Pass.
And that's what I was saying. That's what
yeah.
Nib just said is what I was saying with saying hope and a prayer and prayer. And I'm not saying you are RGG. You're not. I said I don't want to sit back and hope and pray that the game I hope comes into Game Pass and I'll wait for it. I'm just going to go get it if I want it. Like, I just don't. That's the thing. It all goes back to the beginning and what you said. You first asked the question. I don't understand why people say this about Game Pass. And we're just giving you examples. That's all it is. It doesn't mean you are not enjoying it or you shouldn't enjoy it. You should enjoy anything you want to enjoy. I just think that those are my reasons for why I think Game Pass isn't making it. It's not about you. You can enjoy. Yeah. We all have different. Look at Death Singer lists 5 or 6 games that he can't wait to play this fall. I don't want anything to do with them. Not those games. You know. But
so you are saying that you don't want to rely to subscription services in order to play games.
Yes.
Yes, we want to play the games that we want to play.
Okay.
I'll sound like Phil. I'll sound like Phil. I want to play the games when I want to play them on my time, right? That I changed it a bit for him. I paraphrased it.
Okay,
right? That's my whole thing. So I don't come home and look at Game Pass. And I've had Game Pass since 2017. I still have it. It doesn't run out. I believe my Game Pass runs out February 25 or March 25. So I still have it. So I'm not speaking out of terms here. I see it. I see what's going on. And when something cool comes out, I'll give you an example. So Vampire Survivors came out on Game Pass. I'm not gonna lie. It was $4 or $3. I think it was because I was a Game Pass member. I got it for $3. I bought it for $3. I didn't even use it on Game Pass. I bought it for $3. I bought it on Steam, I think, for $4, and I think it's on PlayStation now for $5. I'm probably gonna buy it over there because that's a game that's perfect for the Portal. But I mean, like, I don't need Game Pass. Like, that's a great game. I think Vampire Survivors is it's a fun game to just play in passing. Every time I'm on travel, I play it on my Steam Deck. Like, I love it. I really, really do. But my point being is, like, I don't need Game Pass. If I see something I like, I'll just buy it. And if it's a smaller game that you go, hey, Mooch, check this out. RGG, I hope you do. I want you to hit me up in the DMs. Be like, dude, check out this great game I found on Game Pass. I'll either turn on the Xbox and play it, or if I really like it, I'm just gonna buy it. You know, like, I want to own I come from a generation at my age where I like owning my games. And I remember the argument back in the day. Remember when everybody used to get mad back in 2013 when physical media was being threatened by just the idea of downloading digital? Yeah. Now people now people don't even want to own the digital. Now people want to rent, and it's okay. So we went from owning digital to renting.
From you in that sense. So I don't even care about owning the game. I just want to play the games that I'm most excited for. And I don't care if I have to pay for them. But if I get them on services, even better. For me, even better, because then I don't have to pay for them. But the problem is, what I find is, if I go through every single so I usually do a top 20 game of the year list every year. Like, usually it's like 1 or 2 games on the list is available on Game Pass or was available on Game Pass. Yeah. And I just can't afford to, because my time is, as I said, the limited thing. So those 20 games I will have to savor. They will have to be, really enjoyable games that I really like. Because if I'm devoting time to a game, I'm missing out on playing another one, or spending time with my family or something. So it has to really be meaningful. So I really want the high quality experiences. And it's not a question of money.
That's where it came from me.
I'm different from both of you, because I love my sub services, because Shout out to Assassin's Creed Shadows. You will be played on Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah.
$15.99. Because I don't want to own you. I really don't give a crap about you. I'll play you because I like Assassin's Creed, but I ain't gonna buy you. You are not gonna get no money from me. I will play it in the subservice. That's what you're gonna get. I'll beat it by the end of the month,
so Singer,
and I'll be done with it.
Singer, you came onto the show. I haven't really mentioned it a lot since, but if you go back and listen to some of the older shows, something I used to always say about Game Pass, same thing, is if Xbox has a game in the future that I really, really want to play, and I'm like, oh, I do want to play this game, but I don't care if I own it because I just want to dabble with it. I know the community's really big on it. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to do what Singer just said. Once my Game Pass expires, sure, I'll get the Game Pass, whatever. Now I think you have to get Ultimate. I'll get the Ultimate for 1 month. I'll play the game, beat the game, discuss it on shows, podcasts, and I'll be like, yeah, this was good or it wasn't good. And I'm just like you, Singer. Then I'm going to cancel the Ultimate game. I'll play it for $20. In your case, you're using Ubisoft's Plus, which is $14.99. It seems like, which is great. That Singer is doing it. That's really a great moochonomic right there. That's a very great way to play it. He's playing it for $14 instead of paying $70 or on Steam $60.
The thing is, doing that, if I utilize this, like I do it for all EA games, I do it for all Ubisoft games, and I do it for select games that come into Game Pass because that money then I can spend on games I actually want to buy, which is like Avowed, I'm going to buy that. Stalker 2, I'm going to buy that. Metaphor, I'm going to buy that. So, of course... Go on.
No. You finish your point now.
So I'm gonna spend my money elsewhere on games that I actually want, and I'll just play what I want from Ubisoft and EA on there.
Yeah,
because it just makes more sense to me. But I don't see. No one should have a problem with playing games on the subservice because, like, I wouldn't have been introduced to Dragon Quest without Game Pass. So. I mean, and there's quite a few franchises I met on Game Pass.
Oh, listen, that's a good point. And that's what RGG was saying, too. He's saying he's found a lot of great franchises and games he's loved because of that service. Myself, personally, I have my ear to the ground. Does that mean I see every game? No, we even talked about a couple games where we were like, I didn't even know that game was coming, right? So that happens sometimes. But usually when it happens, I'll go back and pick it up and it'll be cheaper. It's been out for a while, and especially with the PC, right? Singer, you say it all the time. You can go on Steam sales, and a lot of big games that were once $60 on Steam are sometimes $10, $20, $15.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where I'll pick up an older game. That's why for me, having a PC that's capable always now, especially with Xbox being day and date on PC, I got to say, having a PC's never made more sense. So having a Switch 2 in the future, PS5 Pro, and then a PC is, I think, if you're a hardcore gamer, probably the best of all worlds. I could see Singer saying he doesn't need a PS5. That's fine. He's going to wait for the PlayStation games to get there. That's fine.
On about the Switch. You don't necessarily need the Switch.
I will get the Switch. I grew up on Nintendo, so I'm.
Yeah, no. What
you mean being illegal though? You break the law.
I can't do that, Singer.
Well,
like, you want to support the hobby, bro. Like you need these people to make.
I don't care.
But
Singer can do whatever he wants. I don't care.
But the thing is, on principle, I can't support Nintendo because they're complete assholes. They're asshats. They go after all the things that we like is nice, or because they have a stick up their ass. Someone even dares to compete with them. Nah, Nintendo is their practices are so horrible. They can't even figure out how to make a decent online service, and we're in 2024. Nah, Nintendo gets no passes. Nah.
You're only saying that as an excuse to pirate their games.
No, I'm not.
That's literally
things I believe. No.
Do you know how many CD things Nvidia has done, and you're using an Nvidia GPU, right?
Yeah,
they've been taken to court and have to pay fines for price gouging and price manipulation, right? Their markups are astronomical. They're even higher than Nintendo's. Do you know that their margins? Look at their fiscal year reports and their operating income.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't say that, and at the same time, in fact, I don't know if I should say this publicly, but because it's a big show. But okay, I'll just say it. So someone I know, one of my mutuals, right? They entered an Nvidia GPU competition, right? So you post this thing and you tag a friend, and you and your friend have a chance to win a 4090, right? So they won. His mate got his 4090, but they say to his friend who was tagged, "Oh, you don't get the 4090. you get a voucher because there's some issue with the stock and the way the prizes are given out. But he's like, yo, what the hell? Like, but I don't want a voucher. I want my 4090. So he comes to me and he DMs me and he's like, oh, like Nib, what should I do in this situation? Like, because I feel like they're kind of cheating me. And it's Nvidia here. It's not a small company. They're worth billions, tens of billions. They made like 60 billion last year or something, and almost half of that profit. They're trying to screw me out for 4090. So anyway, so we like him predominantly, but I'm like giving him ideas. We basically start an investigation. Okay, let's find out all the times they've done this competition. How many of the times have the person that's been tagged, the friend that's been tagged, actually received a 4090? He started DMing and collecting information from every single person that the secondary person who was supposed to guess what? None of them received a 4090. They basically this campaign that they run, this like marketing promotion, was bullshit. They basically lied with the verbiage just to make it sound more compelling than it is. So anyway, he goes to them and he's got all this evidence and he says, if I share it with you, can you boost it up as well? Because I might need a lot of coverage. Fine, I'll do it, no problem. Because I think it's a really seedy thing to do. It reminds me of the kind of thing they used to do in the forums, OCR forums back in the day. They used to give forum posters free GPUs just to post NVIDIA propaganda. Anyway, long story short, he gives them all the evidence, and they see the compelling evidence. They obviously don't want a PR nightmare, so they give him the 4090. But this is the kind of thing, like, I don't see Nintendo doing something as seedy as that, but yet you're making excuses for Nvidia, but not for... This is what goes back to my thing about sort of like the double standards of contradiction. We can't say you're not supporting Nintendo just because they do these seedy things when Nvidia does seedy things. The real reason is you just want an excuse to pirate their games, right?
Oh, no.
And you can't pirate GPUs.
No, you see, here's where you fundamentally fucked up. I call out Nvidia, you see. There is no double standard. See, this is where you need to slow the roll on that real quick, because
you still own Nvidia GPU.
Well, yeah, because it's my choice of GPU, and there's plenty of choices out there. I could go from a 20 series to a 30 to a 40
but
to a 10
you understand
series.
my point. You're financially supporting them, but you don't want to financially support Nintendo.
Yeah, because I have to. But Nintendo requires me to buy both games off them. It also requires me to buy the hardware. It also requires me to pay for the online if I want to use the online features. But then it also requires me, and they don't ever reduce the prices. They don't follow the thing. They do the same thing. And when people just do normal stuff, they jump. The ninja lawyers come out. They people could do a little tiny thing wrong. It's like they're coming after Power World now, and I could see why. But it's like, can't you just sit your ass down and just let people enjoy things? No, Nintendo's always gonna put. And Nintendo will send their assassins after you, and they'll bury you for life in debt, all because you did something bad to them, one person. And it's like, no other company, Nvidia doesn't come after you with their ninjas and buries you in debt and takes you to court. We all know how shitty Nvidia is, but it's a known thing. The thing is,
they manipulate games.
But but the thing is, Nintendo is shitty, but no one calls them out for it. Nvidia is shitty, PC gamers call them out for it. Nintendo does the shitty, everyone goes, look at the new Zelda. Like, no, it's...
I don't think that is it. I think people call out both sides. It's just some people pick and choose which side to call out and which side to financially support. And some people realize even if you call it out, at the end of the day, it's the product and the games that matter. Like, whatever the ethics may be, do Nintendo make a high quality GPU that is better than the competition? Yes. Therefore, we buy the product. Do Nintendo make a high quality product with fantastic games that are some of the best in their genre? Yes. So we buy the games. But obviously, you don't have the option to pirate an NVIDIA GPU. You do have the option to pirate Nintendo games. Therefore, you make the distinction and contradiction that you do. But in a balanced world, we wouldn't be supporting either. In fact, we wouldn't even be supporting the games consoles because the games consoles have a high chance of being made by like Uyghur slaves in a factory. But we close our minds to these things. That we pick and choose what benefits us, right?
It's
The thing is,
interesting.
I can move to AMD, but AMD also has its own problems. Okay, cool. But I do that. But the thing is, you can't move to Nintendo. Nintendo's still going to do what Nintendo does, which is constantly re-release games. Shout out to RGT last week when he was on about Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Nintendo will pull the biggest remaster, fake
I agree.
bullshit games.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
And
with
sell them
there.
at full
Yeah.
price, and people will sit there and clap their hands and go "Game of the Year." Like it's so
True. But
it's
Nvidia,
so unbelievable.
Nvidia
how
will-
Nvidia-
Nvidia will
See,
release a GPU that costs them $300 to manufacture and try and sell it for $1,200.
Yeah, exactly. But people push back. The thing is, Nintendo makes these remasters like that Donkey Kong.
But hold on. a
no
second,
one
Singer,
pushes back.
But Singer, the push. That's fine. You want to say people push back, but does Nvidia change their price?
No, I mean, they're still selling
It
at
doesn't
insane
matter.
markup
I mean,
on everything.
I
Yeah, they're
understand
still
what you're
selling
saying.
at the same markup, but
So,
people will buy it because you want
in
the best in hardware, right?
In the end, I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
know what you're saying, and I get your point, Singer. But at the end of the day, it's the exact same outcome, isn't it? You're saying I'm overpaying for a duplicate Mario game over and over and over again, and yet you're paying, whatever that markup would be. Just using Nib's example, he's saying $300 cost and $1,200 markup. You know what I mean? You're getting 300%. So it's like I don't even follow where you guys. I'm following both of you along. I don't really get into those weeds as much on the cards and the pricing and what it actually costs Nvidia. And don't get me wrong, Nintendo is no saint. They're no saint at all. But I mean, at the end of the day, I've had a Nintendo since 1985 or 84, and for me personally, it's a nostalgia thing. I told you, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I end up, I'll buy the Switch 2, and yes, I'll buy the way overpriced $70 Mario game that comes with it. You know what I mean? Or doesn't come with it, I should say.
And when I build a PC, I'm going to be buying a NVIDIA GPU.
Me
That's
too.
just the
Me too.
way the cookie
Yeah.
Hey, Mooch,
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. Yes.
Bless Red Super Chat. Basically,
Yeah, I was gonna.
See,
You want
you
to read
can't-
it, or I'll read it? I don't care. You can buy GPUs. This is Blessed Red, $5 super chat. He says you can buy GPUs used and not support NVIDIA. I bought my 4090 secondhand and new. Mario Collection is a new game you can't buy anymore. Okay, that's one game. Great, Blessed Red. Thanks. They got like 7,000 games.
It's like
You know,
an outlier, extreme example.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and Nipsey PC gamers don't
Let me pick a
complain.
needle in the haystack. It's a great example.
the thing is, Nintendo does all this stuff, but Nvidia, you could choose not to support. You could buy a GPU secondhand. You now no longer support.
you can
Nvidia,
buy
right?
used Nintendo
I can
games
buy a
as
used
well.
Nintendo game too.
Yeah, you can, but
Yeah.
you still support Nintendo.
You can buy a
and-
used Nintendo Switch. Like these kind of like goalpost moving, you can do endlessly.
Yeah,
like,
you can do it
so when we
endlessly,
get
yeah.
into the weeds of this, that's why I don't really get into these sort of semantics, because you could literally apply the same logic.
Yeah, nobody
to the other side.
wins because you keep going round and round and round. I mean,
Exactly,
neither
yeah.
neither of you are wrong. You guys made great points. I just think that it, like I say, you just, with me personally, it's just a feeling. I'm not. You do whatever you want to do, Singer. I have no problem if. And I think you said it yourself, that Singer. I think you were playing Tears of the Kingdom at 60 frames. I was not. I was playing it at a much lower frame rate. And
We were playing
You
a
know?
doo-doo version
yeah,
of it.
and I paid more than Singer. I paid a lot more.
But
for
the
it,
thing
too.
is,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's like I can do that, and it's an option given to me by some kind-hearted people.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't have to buy. You're trying
Yeah,
to force me
absolutely.
to buy a hardware
And
to
I'm
play
not
your
even-
games. I don't have
Absolutely.
to.
And
So-
I'm not, and I would never guilt you. I don't care. You do you. I've had a bunch of people on PC say the same thing on the show. That's fine. I have no problem with that. You're not going to hear me be, the higher word of anything. No, I'm just telling you how I choose to buy the media and go about it that way. I also don't have 7 million Nintendo games. I mean, I probably have, if I'm looking back right now, I probably have Switch, looking at the Switch ones I have. And that's not even all of them, because I have some more in the family room because we've been playing it recently. Even more. I don't know. I probably have like 25 or 30 Switch games. Like that's not like that crazy. That's not even, if RGT was on here, he would be like, I have 30 Switch games I use as a foot pedestal. You know what I mean? Like he just puts his feet on white, but like he has so many games. I don't even hold a candle to the true Nintendo fans out there. I just buy the ones like the Metroids. If there's like this Zelda that came out, I'm intrigued to go pick it up. Even my family was like, "You're gonna pick up the game. You're gonna play it for like 7 hours and then probably not play it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've owned every Zelda game since I was like 5." You know what I mean? So like, I don't know if I want to break that. I love it. I love having Zelda games. I don't know what that was, and Mario games and Metroid.
That's the fundamental thing, like for me, right? Like again, I actually don't care how he does whatever he does either. The only reason I jumped on this point was because if it's the morality thing, right? It's the picking and choosing. It's like people who have an issue with, like, say, J.K. Rowling and anti-transgender comments in, say, Hogwarts, but then they'll buy a console that's made by slaves. Like, to me, that doesn't compute. To me, it's picking and choosing. Where do we draw the line of morality then? Like, do only certain things matter and certain things don't matter? Like, you know, is it the privileged things that might appeal to a Western, ideology? Those are the things that are important, but slaves in a poor slaves or brown slaves, they don't matter. Like, so I don't really like getting into those weeds because then you can always find issues, right? But for me, fundamentally, like to be consistent, I don't usually get into the politics of what they do. It's the product they provide, right? So I probably don't like business practices from PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Nvidia. But fundamentally, is the product they make great? Is it better than the competition? Is it worth the money? Those are going to be the primary questions.
But the thing is that the consistent factor comes in. It's like, especially with Nintendo, it's like, okay, I'm a consumer. You need to sell me on your console and games. I can play my games over here, and I don't need to give you any money. So I'm going to make that choice because that's the best financial decision I can make. Do I care? No, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. Who gives a shit? So I mean, that's just my choice.
I will say as well, like, so I will say this is important as well. Like, people should be able to do whatever political reasons they choose, right? If you don't want to support a game because that's fine, like, who am I to say you shouldn't do that? It's like pocket watching. Like, who am I to tell you how to spend your money? You spend your money however you see fit, and you have whatever moral implications you think is ideal. The only reason I brought it up here was because I thought it would be an interesting conversation, and it kind of tied into the point, you know, with the Nvidia kind of competition thing, which was very interesting. You know, you wouldn't expect a multi-billion-dollar corporation to do that kind of seedy swindling, you know, just to avoid giving out GPUs that, you know, when they're worth like tens of billions of dollars. It's just a really funny thing. But I will say, to be fair to Nvidia, there is a chance, because we were discussing it, we were like, what would compel Nvidia to do this? It's such a ridiculous thing. It could be so much bad. Imagine we went to the media and showed them evidence of all this stuff. Like, it would be a big story. But we were thinking maybe it might have just been like a community manager or something who, you know, maybe he just been given a allotted budget, and it's like, do whatever marketing you can on social media with this budget. And maybe he's the one, or she is the one who, you know, tried to give away less budget by doing marketing, etc., etc. So it could be something like that. Maybe the parent company or the higher ups weren't aware of this, but either way, it was a funny thing.
Well, let me do this, guys. I will say this. It's we're past the 3-hour mark here, and my New York Giants are losing, and not that anybody even thought they would be winning. That being said, this is an outstanding conversation. We'll take it up maybe next week. I love it when we have Nib and Death Singer on. I swear to God, these guys are phenomenal podcasters. But no, great to have everybody on. I want to say thanks, everybody. Please, guys, hit that like button. We talked about it earlier. If you're listening later, you made it all the way through the show, hit that like button. Come on, we still have almost 300 people here, and we've been here for 3 hours and change. I'm very impressed with everybody that's still here. I want to say thanks. Shout out to Mash as well. I see Mash is still out there chatting it up. Mash, thanks for those subs. Guys, thanks for the super chats. TrueWiddy came out and said someone buys that card so it can be used so still. So I'm not sure, TrueWiddy. I know you always write very quick, but the great TrueWiddy is here. Great to see TrueWiddy in the chat again. I'm going to go in reverse order. RGG, I know that you're probably making breakfast right now, and I wish I lived closer to you because I would love to have breakfast with you. That would be great to eat right now. I'm starving. RGG, as always, I love the work that you do. I really, really do. I can't wait to see the clip that you're sending us, you jumping on the chair. That is going to be phenomenal. Keep up the great streams. Do what you do. Always reach out, man. You know, I told you this when you first came on. You're always welcome on the show. I want to say shout out to everybody out there in Athens and Greece that came and listened to the show. RGG, you have a very, very great fan base. Let people know where they can find you. And thanks for being here tonight, RGG.
Okay, people can find me on Twitter. The name of my channel is Randy Greek a gamer. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and all that. I stream almost on a daily basis all the new games that are coming out, and I am sticking to the games that I will like more. If you come to my chat and you speak English, no problem, even though all of us are going to speak, a Greek. If you speak English and I see you on the chat, I will shout out to you, say hi, and I hope that you will stay and have a good time. And many thanks, Mooch, for having me on the show once again, man. Thank you so much. And I am sorry for my bad English. I am so sorry.
No, RGG, listen, first of all...
This is great English.
I think it's phenomenal English, first of all.
You should hear our Bulgarian.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't even give me a letter grade. You'd be like, Mooch, you're horrible. So let me say this much. Outstanding, RGG, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it loud and clear. You're always welcome on this show because I love your opinions. Love your opinions and your takes on gaming, RGG, and I love your great audience that always comes and supports you and supports this show as well. So, RGG, thank you again.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely. The great Death Singer, you guys know. Singer, I don't know. Every week, I love it. I can't get enough Death Singer. I said this to you the first time you were on the show. Everyone in the audience is like, Death Singer's here. How did he get another invite? I go, Death Singer's always here. You got to have that difference of opinion. And I absolutely love it. And Singer, tonight, I got to say, usually, what were we saying earlier in the show? It was that kindness. You threw a couple daggers out there tonight, Death Singer. So everybody shields up.
I think he got a bit rattled.
He was a little upset tonight, and he was throwing daggers.
I felt a little bit of energy,
which was good. I liked it. I liked it, Death Singer. I'll bring my shield next time because I love what you were doing tonight. But Singer, let people know they can find you, buddy. And as always, thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, no problem. It's like I love to operate like I love to operate like the sea, right? It could be a clear blue sky, still waters. The next minute it turns into a tsunami, right?
That's right.
That's me. So you can't judge the waters. It may look calm, but underneath there's a current.
That's right.
He's simmering.
Yeah.
Yes, he's simmering. He's simmering.
But you can't see it because it's still water on top. So yeah,
Yes.
But again, yeah, shout out to great show. Shout out to RGG. Pleasure. And yeah, chat, you will find me on here next week. So make sure you look forward to it. Put it in your calendars because I'm going to be back. And you can still love me. It's fine.
Oh, God, it's so great. Oh, that's so
I
great.
think they are coming around to you, to be fair. The comments I've read.
To be honest, some of them won't, but it's because I have unique takes and people don't like it.
That's the best part about it.
I think that is good, though. Because, I will say to the chat, you don't really... If all of us had all the same fucking opinions, that would be so boring and dull.
It's boring, isn't it?
The beauty of conversation is to have differences, right?
Exactly. And I liked when RGG was pushed back and said, no, this is why I like that. That's what I love. I love that kind of stuff. And Death Singer, same thing goes for you. That's why it's called Crossfire, not Kumbaya. Okay? I love what we got here,
exactly.
So, Nib, I got to say thanks to you as well, buddy. Outstanding as always. The man who does his research, he's out there. If you guys are not following him on Twitter, that is a disservice you're doing to yourselves. Okay, it's at Nib95_. Go over and follow him on X, formerly known as Twitter. But Nib, let everyone know they can find you, even though I plugged it anyways. And thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, that's it. Just Twitter, a really interesting conversation. And it's pretty insightful conversation, and I actually do enjoy hearing opposing sides because, RGG's taste and the reasons for why he does these things, it is interesting because I always say, even with fandoms, right? Sorry, I'm going on a bit of a monologue, but I remember I was in this space once, and this guy was a hardcore Xbox fan, and it's I'm not just going to write him off as okay, you're an Xbox fan, but why? And it is really interesting and compelling story where he said he was going through quite a rough patch in his life, and he was walking through town. I think he was getting milk or something like that. And he walked past a game store, and there was a big queue of people queuing for the Gears of War.
Yep.
And he was like, "Oh, do you know what? Let me just speak. Like, what's going on?" And he started speaking to them, and they were really inviting and friendly. And they were like, "Oh, look at this trailer! Like, look at this game! Blah blah blah. Gears of War. Here's the poster." And they kind of had like a bond, like a gamer bond with everyone in that like queue.
Yep.
And ever since that day, he's loved the brand, he's loved the IP, and he's loved competitive gaming. And those kind of, I get that. If you have that experience, that life experience, you will always, you'll have a lead, you'll have a certain connection to the brand that is not like quantifiable. It's sentimental. So those kind of things, like, and it's interesting hearing, you know, obviously RGG does it for the stream. He probably has a connection with his audience as well. So the experience he's getting from playing these experimental games and playing all this diversity of games, it's going to be different from me and you.
That's right.
The way he's experiencing it is just different. So yeah, it's interesting stuff.
That's outstanding, and actually, I do think sometimes the stories do matter, Nib. That's I think they always matter. As a matter of fact, that's just how
100%.
How everybody got into gaming, how they got into their platforms. You know, you heard me even say it. Like I said, my first gaming console. I think the first one I ever had was like a Coleco back in the day, but that was already on its way out. Was really Nintendo, so that's why that holds a strong place in my heart. Of course, Xbox had its time with me too as well, and PlayStation right now I think is doing really, really great things. PC gaming is taking some of those third-party games and making them look absolutely amazing, run absolutely amazing.
I see Mooch.
Yes.
I see you're older than me.
Absolutely.
My first console was the Sega Master System.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not.
Because I was a Sega kid.
That's all. Listen, I had a Genesis. I had a Genesis. I just thought, boy, we could do a whole podcast on this. I just thought that the Nintendo first party library just kind of it resonated with me much more than, like, you know, Sonic and you know.
As you say, like because I've heard, that was when Sonic first came out, like the very first game, Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was instantly hooked, playing the same levels over and over.
I loved it.
People like to think console wars started. No. Console wars started on the playground back then in the 90s. Because I would come in and, believe it or not, we used to have it out in primary school. Primary school when the N64 came out. Guess which side I was on? I was on the PS1 side. I was fighting the good fight for PlayStation. Once upon a time. So you know, because they were like, "Oh, we got Pokemon Stadium." Well, I got Gran Turismo, and I got Final Fantasy 7. You know. So once upon a time, you know.
On that point, I really do think a lot of like current PlayStation fans, not a lot of them, but a sizable portion of them are actually historically Xbox, because I think from like 360 to Xbox One, then to PS4 and now PS5, I think there was a bit of a transition, just like there is a transition of sorts taking place to PC now, from Xbox to PC. There was from Xbox to PS4 as well, I think, during the Xbox One generation. So yeah, so it's interesting because me as well, you wouldn't know this, but I was primarily Nintendo, then primarily PC, and then PlayStation. And yet most people will probably think I was PlayStation all my life, but that is also not the case.
No. Our journey through these amazing games is they're great, and each one is actually a great story. So Nib, great to bring that up, because it really does resonate, especially with tonight's episode of Crossfire, because, you know, like I said, RGG did a great job of explaining why he enjoys what he enjoys, and like I said while he was saying it, and I'll say it again, there's no critiquing that. What you like is what you like. It doesn't matter. I could say my opinion, but it doesn't take anything away from your opinion. That being said, guys, we'll be back next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, it's going to be a blast. Absolutely a blast. Can't wait for next week as well. Go out there, game. Enjoy your weekend. We will talk to you guys next Thursday. And let's go Giants. Let's go Mets. Okay? Monday night, Mets games. Big, important game against the Braves. Guys, until then, sports. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out and good night.
Laters, everyone. Have a good one.
Good night.
Bye.